Hello, how's it going? What's up? It's me. I'm back. Whoa. It was a good one. This one's good. Jason came back. It's been 10 months since he was on the show again. Isn't that weird? It seems weird to me. It seems like it was just yesterday. But he's back. We talk about a lot of stuff. A lot of Star Wars. Which is weird. We talked about that like in the car. I was like, oh, we talked a lot about that. And then we talked a little bit on this too. It's crazy. I have so many feelings about Star Wars. Which, like, I don't even, like, think about it that often. But when, like, the time comes, I, like, have feelings. But otherwise... Then, like, you know, hours and hours of that. It was good. Got to talk about all sorts of fun stuff that I don't normally get to, like weird YouTube stuff. Good times. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to say. I don't really know. I feel the need to intro these when I was like a person, but even when there's not, I sometimes do it. I don't know. What else? Oh, at the end, I like play a thing on my phone for him, and like in retrospect, that was stupid because like I could have just injected it through the headphones into the show. But I'm dumb, so I didn't. But, like, I can also kind of still hear it because I also didn't put it up to the microphone because I'm also stupid. But my headphones are really good, so it sounded like you could hear it. But, like, these are, like, definitely loud. So, probably not for most people. So, I'm going to link the video that I was referring to in the bottom description thing. So that, like, if you're like, what the fuck are these idiots doing? And it's there for you. So I didn't like cut it out and then like boost the sound. I'm like, this sounds so stupid and bad because it's like for my fucking phone. So it'd probably be better if I just give you the actual thing. Otherwise, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. I'm coughing a lot again, so apologies in advance. A lot of times I try to cut them out, but like when it's two people talking, if I happen to cough off mic, and so you know how it is. I don't know what else to say. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have fun. Hope you're having a good day. And enjoy.
This is your brain. And this
is your brain on Tom.
All right, we're back. Episode 64, I think.
Are we live?
I think so, yeah. How's it going, Jason? Welcome back.
It is going. I can't believe it's been 10 months since we did the last one. Yeah, you were saying that
when you're on the car. I can't even believe that. Time seems to be moving so fast now.
Time flies when you're applying for jobs every day.
You're telling me that too, so that is your current endeavor. That
is my life right now. Just looking at jobs every day, applying to jobs. Mm-hmm. Couldn't tell you how many I've applied to since.
It's the worst feeling ever. Because you're just throwing shit to the wind and then hoping to God someone
just hoping for a call.
Yeah, just someone to hear you.
Just tell me you're considering me. That's at the end of the day.
Honestly, I just want you to even tell me no. I just want to know you saw it. It's like it gets so overwhelming.
I mean, this week I applied to Insomniac Games and they got back to me within the week.
No, that's nice.
They said they weren't moving forward with my application, but
at least they got back to you.
Yeah, getting back to me right away, I appreciate, because some sites, I think Disney doesn't tell you. Like, you have to check the career dashboard, and then it says you didn't get them.
Oh, weird. But so you have to do it.
I appreciate, like, even if it's an automatic one, because, so many people apply to these entertainment jobs. Like Pixar, they automatically send out, you didn't get it. I've always appreciated that I know.
You're not stuck wondering.
Like,
oh, did they just not see it? How good of a chance I have? It's even better if they tell you why, which they rarely will. But.
Yeah. Also, everything is like so competitive. They're never gonna get back to you why you're not the guy right now.
Yeah.
So I mean that stinks a little bit, but I'm not discouraged. I'm just gonna keep applying, and I'll land somewhere. I'm confident in that. It's just
how you.
Man, I'd really like to be somewhere because I keep thinking I'm not gonna be home for certain things. Like my dad just went to Boston for immunization. That Lanks Pharmacy might do that now. They might like do flu shots or whatever, so we had to go to this thing. And driving, I don't know when we were driving back, maybe for spring break in March, or it might have been graduation in May, but at one point me and my dad were driving somewhere and he told me about this. I was like, I probably won't be home by then in October.
Right.
I was home. Spoiler alert, I was home. And at Thanksgiving, I didn't think I'd be home. I'm probably going to be home for Thanksgiving. I don't mind.
Right, yeah.
Like, I'm trying to get the point across that I don't mind, like, being around my parents or whatever. I need to start my life, you know?
Yeah.
There's just...
Well, that's the tricky thing about entertainment. Like I was telling you in the car, like, you know, I think it was Mike Myers. It's like I was tired of waiting to be hired, so I hired myself.
Yeah,
and you might just want to just start doing stuff for yourself now, and then people can go, like, then you can kind of get your foot in the door that way.
Yeah.
People can kind of be like, oh, he did this thing, let's hire him or whatever.
I mean, honestly, I'm thinking about just going out there and like working retail or somewhere just for a paycheck.
Right, yeah.
Like buying a camera, just doing like YouTube stuff,
Right,
honestly. Because over the years, I've had a lot of short ideas, but they're timely. Like
right.
My year off of school, a lot of YouTube ideas, but relevant, like what was happening.
Right,
then,
you
though.
can't reuse
If I
them.
made those now, it wouldn't make sense. And I mean, I would never like do it for views. I do it for like the fun
Right,
of collaborating with people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Those just don't come to me as fast anymore. Those like quick, like 3-minute videos they used to.
Right.
But I just love to make a channel, maybe like reviewing stuff I like because I have a lot of different interests, or my take on like certain things in entertainment. Maybe in the near future I'll do that, just short, maybe like 5-minute clips or whatever.
Right.
If I get like a following, maybe go like more in depth, because I wouldn't want to seem. I feel like once you get a following, you can afford to be negative, I guess, in a way. Like, because you don't want to just be like part of like the white noise of, if something's not good, you want people to know that you have like great admiration for like a field, let's say superheroes or whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then people know that I take it like seriously, even though that sounds weird to say, like taking superheroes seriously, but like being a big fan.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then they can appreciate if I like didn't like something, instead of just uploading a video of why I hated something.
Right.
When I'm just not anyone. It's like, okay, it's just another guy
it's hard
shitting on
the people like that white noise. If they also hate it, that people want that. People like that.
And I just think there's too much negativity to like fully be a part of that right away. I just think there's too much negativity, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. If something came out and I didn't like it, I wouldn't want that to be like my jumping point.
Right. That'd
like
be the first
my
one,
start.
Yeah, because it's hard to say. Because like, Angry Video Game Nerd, like his thing is like he got mad at stupid bad games, and like that's what people like found appealing.
People gravitated to him. Yeah.
And that is now, but that because of that, it changed the landscape. That's what everything is. So it is a tough balance of like, well, that's what people know and like, but also it does feel kind of shitty and it's very much the white noise. So it's a tough like spot to be like.
I mean, it's just like fandom and the negativity attached to fandom nowadays. I feel like there's too much of that. There's too much.
Yeah, we were just talking about that too. The Star Wars stuff. It's bananas.
First off, I did not realize how much we talked about The Last Jedi on that December podcast. It was like an hour 45, I think.
That makes sense.
Of straight Last Jedi talk, and then because. It took a while to like get into the holidays, because I was like, oh, let's do a Christmas episode.
Right, yeah.
And it turned to like nearly 2 hours of Last Jedi.
It had just come out, I think, right?
Yeah, I had like just seen it, and we talked a long time about it.
I had a lot of feelings. It was an emotional experience for me.
It's funny, we in a podcast you had maybe a few weeks or months later, you talked about like the cluster of memories and how something can trigger all these things.
Yeah.
When I left, I got hit with a lot of Star Wars.
Oh, really?
Solving a Phantom Menace puzzle in my basement, like in '99.
Oh yeah, I love that. The mundane, useless memories. Where you're
walking
like,
through the mall and seeing a Phantom Menace poster with like Anakin and Darth Vader was his shadow.
That's cool.
Maybe you can help me with this one. There was this computer game that came with a Millennium Falcon. Did you have anything like this?
No, I didn't.
And this was probably like 99, maybe 2000.
Okay.
And it came with like Han Solo and Chewie. Like you put them in the Falcon, and I don't know like the correlation of how it interacted with the game. Because as a kid, I'm like, oh, thinking back, I'm like, oh, the game doesn't work without the Falcon. But there was no interface like that in 2000 gaming where
right, yeah. There's no Skylanders.
Objects, would have that sort of like capabilities in gaming, or however you want to put it. And that was weird to thinking back, because it also made me question the order of how I saw the movies, because I knew who Han and Chewie were, and like solving the puzzle and everything, like I knew who all these characters were, and like the Emperor or like the Shadow from Phantom Menace, because you don't like see his face, you don't see Palpatine's face in it. I remember my dad saying like there was more to it, but so I'm either thinking I saw the original trilogy like right before Phantom Menace or right after.
Oh, okay.
I would guess maybe right after, but I don't know. Like, a memory came back of me being in the theater for Phantom Menace. And I used to have these recurring nightmares of falling into space.
Really?
Like Super Mario 64, when you, like, run down the hallway and, like, the floor collapses.
Yes.
I used to have those, and, like, I'd be in... I was in this small yellow house. It opened up, and I was falling in space.
Oh, weird.
I don't know why I had that. But, yeah, 4 years old in the theater, Anakin gets in the ship and flies into space.
Yeah.
I got a little scared. Not like like literally scared, like how little kids may be for like certain things, but just like feeling. I pictured myself as Anakin,
like a deep
in the
anxiety
ship.
of like.
Yes, anxiety is a better word. Just of like being in space.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
are you over that now? Could you would you want to go to space?
Yeah, I'm definitely over that now. Yeah, but it definitely. My mom told me Spaceship Earth used to have like the see-through floors, like once you got off it in Disney World.
Yeah.
And my mom said I would not walk over it.
Oh, interesting.
Like there was this walkway, and then it became like the clear ground walkway. I stopped in my tracks.
Interesting.
And she said, "Yeah, you wouldn't go," and that makes sense with like the recurring dreams. So I don't know what was up with me, but
that's an interesting it's interesting too that you didn't even put that together till now.
Yeah.
Or it's like you like something as mundane as that. You might even like as a little kid walking up to the space floor and be like, I don't stand here. You might not even put together that you had a nightmare.
I didn't. Yeah. It recently I was like, that's why.
That's interesting.
And
I wonder why. Like what would trigger that nightmare?
I honestly don't know. It was just weird things where I'd be doing stuff in this dream and then falling in space.
Did you have like did you see something in media of like someone like getting lost in space like that?
No, I just think...
Because how would you have that reference of like space is bad? You don't go into space.
I just think there's so much out there, and like as a little kid, not understanding that where's the bottom.
Right, okay.
And
so
like...
it's like an endless fall.
If you're like in a ship and you fall out, like where do you land? And maybe it's like that. I don't know. It's hard to like think back to like my 4-year-old mind.
Right. Yeah, it's not...
But yeah, so...
That's a fascinating like almost fear, but like how do you even know like... much about space? Like Star Wars is most kids like introduction to space, and if like
that's the thing. Like I wasn't watching all these science documentaries about space.
Right, yeah.
It was
watching
just
Star Trek as a kid or something.
No,
so
I
you
was
have no
I
real
was a Star Wars kid, not a Star Trek.
Yeah, so you'd have no real like touchstone with space until like 2000.
Yeah,
That's
like the late 90s. For some reason, recurring dreams about falling into space.
Huh? Was it like free falling or just literally falling through space?
That's a good question.
Was there gravity?
Yes, there was gravity. Picture like just a fast fall like into space, like from the building where like the floor opens.
Okay.
For like 5 seconds and then you wake up.
Oh, interesting.
That's what it was. I know this sounds really weird, listeners.
It almost sounds
It
like...
is weird, I know.
It almost sounds like Get Out.
Yeah, in a way, it kind of is. I didn't think about that. It is like that.
Yeah, that's
except like a faster fall.
Right, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a weird... I mean, it's almost like you like added space onto it later. Like it was like almost like just like a free fall, like pitfall thing.
But there were like stars.
There were stars there.
There were stars. That's the thing. Like I could tell it was space.
Oh, it's interesting.
Which is really weird.
That is really weird. Huh.
And another Star Wars thing. I know I told you about how I thought Boba Fett would kill Mace Windu.
Mm-hmm.
I thought back to like walking out of Attack of the Clones. I pictured their fight in the Death Star, like in the Emperor's throne room.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought like the Death Star would be built, and that just made me think. I never like nowadays. Infinity War was coming out. I speculate.
Right.
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
Oh, right. Yeah.
But as a kid, I didn't do that.
Yeah. You accepted what was there.
But for some reason, like in that, I speculated about that moment, thinking that it would be in a future where the Death Star would be a thing, the Emperor would be in power. And, like, maybe Mace Windu would come from him and Boba Fett would stop him.
Oh, interesting.
I just thought, that's weird because, like, a few years later when Batman Begins came out and, like, the Joker card, I thought, oh, my God, Joker's going to be in the next one. I didn't speculate what Joker would do, how he would fit into the world.
Yeah.
And, like, every superhero movie, X-Men 2, when they show the Phoenix in the water.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't speculate, are they going to bring the Shi'ar into this? Is going to look like the cartoon?
Right,
I was just like, oh, the Phoenix.
I remember this. I had the same reaction.
That's going to be cool.
I had a friend who's super into X-Men, and that happened, and I'm like, I don't get it, because that's Phoenix, that's what Jean Grey becomes. Like, oh, neat. That was the end.
Yeah, but I didn't speculate.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That was it.
I don't know why, like, I had that moment walking out of Attack of the Clones, thinking back to Return of the Jedi, and I know I hadn't seen Return of the Jedi recently, so that tells me again, like, it had to be, like, right around when I saw Phantom Menace, when I saw the original trilogy.
Oh, interesting. Isn't it weird when you realize, like, your internal timeline is wrong?
Yeah, like, I'd probably have to ask my dad. I don't know if he would know, but... Because I like questioned everything. Was there a point where I didn't know Darth Vader was Anakin?
Oh, right,
like, did I see the original trilogy first and picture, like, 3 characters, Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Darth Vader? Because, Obi-Wan says Darth Vader killed your father. I was like, did I picture that? So at least I know, like, around 99 is when I saw them, whether it was before or after. Maybe after, But yeah,
I had seen the original trilogy at my babysitter's house, so between the ages of 3 and 4, and I always pictured, like, I couldn't, like, imagine the world of Star Wars being any different than ours. So when they're like, oh, Luke and Leia are brother and sister, and Darth Vader is their father, I imagine they lived in my old house. Like, that's where they lived. And, like, Darth Vader would come home from work and be like, hey, guys. And, like, but he was Darth Vader. He didn't look like a person. And I used to imagine that.
Did you do your homework?
Yeah, I used to actually think that because we had just moved, like, maybe right before then. I was like, oh, they must live in, like, my old house. That must be what houses look like.
Wow.
That's what houses look like in my head because I'm a small child. And, like, that's what I used to imagine. Like, Star Wars was actually more closer to our reality.
That is hilarious. Like, Leia, can you help me with the groceries?
That's what I used to think. I used to think that they were like, this was just a really bad moment for them. But usually, before this, they were very cool with it. I used to remember thinking, like, how does Luke not know what his dad looks like? Like, that's his dad.
That's a good point, yeah.
But, like, now they made it clear. But as a kid, I was like, how would he not know what his dad... Like, I know what my dad looks like. Like,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I guess it's just because he was in a big, scary black thing. And I just realized, really put it together, like, that's an outfit. That's not what he wears all the time.
What's your take on the Boba Fett movie getting canceled?
That's upsetting. I didn't dislike Solo.
I didn't see Solo.
It was okay.
I made a point to not go see things because I've seen the other movies. Like Jurassic World 2, I didn't think it looked good. And just because I've seen, like, Jurassic World 1 and, like, the other Jurassic Park movies, I shouldn't force myself to go see it.
Yeah.
And when Solo came out, like, it didn't look good enough for me to go see. Like, oh, Donald Glover, I love Donald Glover. But at the end of the day, I was just not motivated to go see it. And I still don't have any, like, Darth Maul, cool. Like, that's really cool. Like, that was probably the only moment I'd like to see at the end of the day.
It was neat. It was fun. And, like, it was just another Star Wars movie. Like,
were you right about, was it everything we knew about Han, like the Kessel Run and all that?
Oh, yeah.
It was that?
Yep, 100%. Yep. It was just beat for beat.
What
Han
we
Solo
knew.
story, yeah. How he met Chewie, and then how he got into smuggling, and then, you know, it's beat for beat. What you would imagine, like, if you had to make an outline of what a Han Solo origin story movie was, it was that. And then they just filled in details of, like, here's some techno babble, and here's a planet we're going to mention. Now it's more Star Warsy, but it's pretty much just a beat for beat. Everything we already knew. It was cool to see the Kessel Run because, like, it was like this weird, like, he drove through like a cloud or something.
What was
like a
the
space
objective? Were they, like, racing someone?
No, they were. What were they doing? They had to go to, like, a mine, and then they had to go to a mine and get, like, this fluid or some kind of ore that had to be at a certain temperature, but it can only be once you took it out of wherever it was. It only had a certain amount of time that before it exploded. So they had to go through this cloud as opposed to around it, and so they go them going through it. That was the Kessel Run of him. Like, the planet was Kessel that they got this shit from.
Okay.
I think that's what it was, and they had to go through. So instead of going, like, around this, like, big storm, it was like a space storm or something with a big worm in the middle. He, like, went through it and then got out, and then the day is saved. But
I think it was honestly too much too soon.
that's definitely the case, 100%.
I think that I'm not trying to speak for, like, Lucasfilm or anything, but I think they thought, oh, everyone loves Star Wars. We can just make all these movies and they'll make $1 billion. Like Rogue One made $1 billion.
They weren't wrong though. They weren't wrong.
They weren't
that.
exactly.
They weren't
so
wrong
they're
to
like,
think that.
oh, we can do like 2 a year now. And
if you had asked me like 5 years ago, do you want a Star Wars movie to come out every year or a Marvel movie? I would have said Star Wars. And now I dislike the fact that we only get 3 Marvel movies a year. Like, it's totally switched, and it's just, I don't know. It's weird that that's how it worked out. Like, I'm far more I would have thought I was more of a Star Wars person, but as of lately, like when Ant-Man came out in, like, what was it, May or something? I was like, boy, that really sucks. We got to wait till, like, March or something, way later.
February. Ant-Man came out in July, and I think Captain Marvel's in February.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, we got to wait that many months before I can get to the next one.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, I remember stopping myself, like, that's a weird thought. I never thought I'd be at this place where, like, I'm walking out of Ant-Man going, damn, I wish there was another one, like, coming up soon. Because it was nice to have, like, they had 3 like back to back, only a couple months apart this year with Marvel. It was like something in
They had Black Panther. Well, they had Thor Ragnarok in November. Then Black Panther in February.
Yeah.
Infinity War end of April, and Ant-Man in July.
Yeah. So it was like nice, but like, oh, we're going through. It was real fast, and then it was like, here's this big gap of like, damn it, I really want to see the next one.
But it makes sense with the fallout of Infinity War.
Oh yeah, no, it makes sense they did it that way. But it was just weird that I was normally, if like a franchise like that, I'd be like, why the fuck are you releasing so many movies so fast? This is crazy. And like, that's how I am with Star Wars. I'm like, please hit the brakes. Like the Boba Fett,
regroup.
Yeah, the Boba Fett one sounds cool, and I want to see it.
I'd love to see Ewan as Obi-Wan again.
Yeah, that too.
But
I'd love to see that.
definitely, I don't know why, because like you're right, they had no inclination of it being too much too soon.
Oh yeah,
with Rogue One making $1 billion, they're like, oh, we can go into these standalones with not much at the surface plot wise, and people just like show up in what's the word, droves or whatever.
Yeah, right. Then I wasn't even like, that's the weird thing too is like, and maybe it's because they never had like their big like, oh, there it is, they nailed it. Yeah. Because like Rogue One for me, I was like, all right, not my favorite, but
no,
like,
not universally loved. I liked it. I loved the ending.
But like it was a side movie. All right, cool. Yes. And then they hit with Rogue One, or not Rogue One, Last Jedi, and it's like, boy, I don't like that one at all. And then other people causing problems, whatever. And then Solo comes out. I'm like, all right, that was closer, but also you still haven't hit like that. Like, yes, fucking finally.
Yeah.
And like,
I agree.
That's kind of where I think it's hurting it, where it's like they haven't had like for the Marvel, now they're hitting that stride where it's like even if like an Ant-Man 2 where you're like, all right, it's still like, well, Infinity War came out 2 months before, that was awesome. So like they have like that moment, they can have a small, like, and even their small duds are not that bad, they're still pretty fun.
Honestly, I'm still on a high from Infinity War.
Right, yeah.
Just like one experience, right? Honestly,
it was really cool, and like they don't have, but Star Wars hasn't had that yet, and so to not have that, where you can have that high, and you can ride that wave, and you can see Ant-Man and go, all right, that was all right. Like it wasn't groundbreaking, it wasn't shattering like Infinity War, but it was a little weird that almost came after that, but whatever, that's all right. And then, but you don't thinking like, oh, it's a bad movie, or like, I don't really want more Marvel movies, because you're still even months later still being like, fuck yeah, Infinity War, and Star Wars has yet to have that like Infinity War moment, or even just like an Iron Man moment. Where you're like, oh, that was really kind of cool. I can't believe they attempted this and it kind of worked out.
I think whatever they do after Episode 9, that's gonna tell us what direction they're going, and if they're gonna be more like that, more groundbreaking. Because I think they got to get out of that world and just go somewhere else in the galaxy, establish something new.
It's hard though.
It is,
because like Star Wars without the Jedi is kind of boring.
Exactly. I love the Jedi, and I played The Old Republic in my year off from school. Loved it. The Jedi story, I was like, incredible. It was so great, but I couldn't imagine being like the bounty hunter, or even if it was a good story, like the Jedi and the Sith. Yeah,
apparently the Inquisitor's the best one. Okay, that's apparently the best written one. But why would you think that? Why would you think to try that?
Like that's my bread and butter when it comes to Star Wars. When you picture Star Wars, or you picture yourself in that world, you picture yourself holding a lightsaber.
Right, yeah, that's because that's the coolest thing.
Yeah, you're not a guy with a blaster on the side, like...
Well, I remember I heard this thing, so it was a story of a guy who was trying to run a Star Wars tabletop game. And he's like, I had to make a rule early on that either everyone is Jedi or no one is Jedi. Because if you have that one guy playing the Jedi, the story becomes about him.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And you now, as the game master, dungeon master, whatever, you have to come up with a Sith that can fight against him, because he should be able to murder every regular soldier that you're going to run into, that the other party members are going to be like, oh, this is tough. So you have to basically be playing two games, because the Jedi has to have his Sith rival that has to keep showing up. Yeah. Because he's the only one that they're going to be able to clash with each other, and the rest of the player base is just going to go off and do their own thing. Like that's almost like the problem with Star Wars is you need to have the Jedi to be kind of cool. And so it'll be kind of weird to see what they do after 9, because Lucas kind of fucked everything and being like, the Jedi are gone. Yeah. From moment 1 in 90 or 79 or whatever, 78, whenever the movie came out, like the Jedi were already done, but the Jedi are the coolest thing. And now everyone's been stuck with like, how do we get the Jedi back? Like we need, if we want to keep moving the story forward in the timeline, we need Jedi. If we go back, we're going to run into the problem of bumping up with the more recent stuff, or even the older stuff, the stuff that's already come before us. So we'll see what they do. I know they've rumored doing like an Old Republic era movie.
I would love that,
because that is just a lot more open with what you can do.
And so many, like a full-fledged Sith, not like the rule of 2. Yeah. Against like a full army of Jedi. What does that society look like? Right. Because they're not at war all the time. No. No one would be alive if that was the case. Yeah, they coexist.
Exactly.
And like they fight occasionally in like these big wars or whatever. But what does that world look like? Yeah. I would love to see that.
I think that is the smartest direction taken. Obviously, they got stuck with this era, this post revolutionary. What do they call it? Galactic Civil War. That the current era we're in. Post Galactic Civil War.
I don't know. They made it weird with like the Resistance and like, but you had the Republic was back, and
yeah, honestly, I don't understand how the government of
I
this
don't
current
understand
universe
it at all.
Which is weird because when the prequels came out, I was like, "Fuck this politics stuff," but I couldn't want it more in this universe or this timeline because I don't understand what's happening.
It doesn't make sense that the First Order, they're terrorists.
Right, that's what I thought they were, but apparently that's not the case.
I'm so confused on it because they had like that rally in Force Awakens where it made them seem like a regime, like an established government, when they should be like
a splinter group. Like we're the ones that are left over and we still like the way it was.
Like we're taking the government back, we're destroying the Republic, but they made it seem like they were their own thing and the Republic was another thing.
And they keep referring to the good guys rebels.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how are you rebels if you're the government, the governing body? Why are you the rebels?
Yeah, like when the U.S. goes to war, our soldiers aren't the resistance.
Right, yeah. That doesn't make any sense. And then, because they blew up a bunch of... And, it made sense, I guess... Or that doesn't really make sense. But, in The Last Jedi, there wouldn't be as much of a republic because they blew up a lot of those planets.
Yeah, a lot of those planets, yeah.
But, they're still... They were still like, we got to reach out to the old... Or some of the other Republic planets to see if they can help us.
Yeah.
But they're gone or not? What's happening? I don't understand.
I don't know.
And, they by the end of Last Jedi, there's, 15... resistance left.
They all fit in the... I mean, I think we talked about this last time, so we should probably... But yeah, they all fit in the Millennium Falcon.
It's all right.
And the First Order has so many fucking people.
Where are they getting the people though? I don't understand.
Exactly, yeah.
Who is the leading government body in this universe? I don't understand. So hopefully they'll branch out into things that the old Republic is so... It's such a long era that they could do anything with that, and there are always Jedi always around.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. You avoid that problem 100%.
Next, you want to talk about Mind of Jake Paul?
I sure fucking do. I've been looking to talk about this with someone for so long because no one fucking knows. I'd go to work and be like, you guys watch YouTube stuff? Yeah, I guess. Have you watched this Shane Dawson thing? What? I'm like, never mind.
The thing is with Shane Dawson,
did you watch his other ones?
No, on TanaCon.
Yeah, I didn't watch those either. Okay,
but I pictured him as he was a YouTuber that girls in my class watched in middle school and high school.
I was part of that demographic. I loved him.
And I just assumed he would be very annoying. And I don't know, I was friends with Veronica and Courtney, I believe, watched him and I was friends with them, but I assumed he'd be very annoying and weird. I don't know why. But
I used to think he was super fucking funny.
I mean, he's been in it a long time.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when it was. Maybe it was my summer between 8th grade and 9th grade. It was one summer about that age range. I got super into YouTube. I watched, probably 10 biggest channels because they all played together and worked together. So I almost knew all of these people's lives because they put everything on camera.
Yeah.
But Shane Dawson was my main one where I watched him, and then it would be oh, Shane hung out with this friend, or who was the dad? He had his family. Remember him?
Oh.
He got in trouble recently for
Shay Carl.
Shay Carl.
Yes.
We'd watch him and his family and then their friends, and I watched this spider web of people, but that's all I did one summer. I kept up with everyone. My subscription box would be empty because I watched everything. And I was super into Shane Dawson. I thought he was really funny. He has some stuff that now pretty offensive.
I heard something about him wearing blackface. Is that
I was
true?
about to bring that up. Yeah, sure did. He sure did.
What was the character's name?
Shaquanda?
Jesus, Shane.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy.
Man, it was such a funny character though, dude. I remember being that young, this is the funny. He did this one where he went to a drive-through, and it fucking killed me. It was one of the few I've watched over and over again. When I was back then, I would watch all the time because you'd watch what was new. Obviously, you never going back. That was the one I would go back to. But yeah, it's a rough character.
Did you ever watch Dax Flame?
No.
Dax Flame, Smosh was number one for me, Matt, and our friend group. But Dax Flame was another one me and Matt watched. Dax Flame is such an enigma. So he's this guy, and he would just have these sit down talks in his room about his day. And one time he peed on his new friend and yelled "pee fight" at a urinal, and his friend flipped down, he made Dax cry or whatever. So that sounds really weird. But Dax, there was always this rumor that it's a character. Okay. And that the real guy's name is whatever. There were rumors of who this guy actually was outside of YouTube. And you remember YouTube Live?
Yeah. Oh my god, what a weird thing that was.
Yeah. And Dax Flame was there, and he whispered who he actually was to this one YouTuber or something. This was so long ago now.
I'm gonna pull a picture. I bet I recognize his face, but because I was when YouTube Live happened, I knew everyone.
Yeah.
I was this is my thing. I know what's happening. This is awesome.
But the thing is, Dax is in movies now. Yeah. He was in Project X.
Yep.
He was
21 Jump Street.
He was in 20, and like he's credited as Dax Flame.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that's his. Full name Madison Petrello.
Madison Petrello.
That's what it says his full name is. But
And
he's met Dax Flame on here.
He like wrote a book or something, and I actually reached out to him.
Oh, did you really?
A few years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
Just about like how me and my brother, loved him as a kid and appreciated like just like his content, and it was just like a fun channel, just like him having fun in front of the camera. And he got back to me. He's like, "Oh, thanks," and I appreciate it. And he told me, I asked him what he was doing now. He's like, "Oh, just writing some screenplays and stuff." And I just found that so cool. I was like, "Wow!"
How did you reach out to him? Where did you email him?
I forget like where he had like an email listed, but I just reached out to him and he got back to me. I was like, "Wow." 11 or 10 or 12-year-old me would be pretty excited. I mean, I was still excited too. Like, it was cool that I got to talk to him a little bit. But yeah, he's such an enigma in that not all of them was at the surface.
Yeah.
Like Smosh, Anthony, it's Anthony and Ian.
Right.
Literally,
you know their names.
Like, and like who they are on camera maybe just be like a little exaggerated.
Yeah.
But Dax, it's just so odd. Like, who is he really, you know?
And we were talking about this briefly over text, but the idea of like the person being what, like I said that in an earlier episode, the person being what you're there for.
Yeah.
That's completely opposite. Maybe we don't even know though, because it's just this character, is this person, what's going, like why this thing is so interesting, this enigma of like what's happening, what is this thing I'm watching,
Yeah.
It's fascinating. I don't know, but like Shane Dawson was like he was like my introduction into the YouTube, because I watched like Smosh stuff, but it was like what I assume most people do, and they're like, or maybe not now, but back then, and be like, oh, cool, that video was really fun, and then not really think about like who made it. It was just like very much like, oh, that thing was neat. But I remember Shane Dawson being like the one to be like, I'm gonna try this vlogging thing, and I was like, interesting, what is that?
Huh?
Because no one knew what it was.
Yeah.
Like it was such a new concept.
And so I guess I'll start with Jake Paul. So summer 2017, he gets on the news van. And that sort of opens my brother and I, shout out to Matt Lang,
Shout out.
to like the world of Jake and Logan and like modern YouTube, because we didn't watch like anyone on YouTube anymore. And we started watching Logan's vlogs, like maybe in late July, early August, mid-July maybe. And I stayed watching Logan's vlogs till like maybe December.
Oh, really?
Like pretty consistent, like every day, because it's you're like doing work at school and everything, you're not watching TV. It's like 10 minutes of your day. He lived a fun life. He was in Dubai.
Oh, wow.
Like skydiving, and him being around Dubai and like the wealth that's there, and just like a kid giving him like a diamond necklace, and just Logan Paul lived an exciting life.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see just him doing like crazy shit every day, and like
I guess that's the appeal of his whole channel, right? Yeah.
And I wasn't like a huge fan necessarily, like the stereotypical. Yeah, Matt did get me a shirt though.
What is it? One of those like?
It's like the Maverick thing.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's like a red shirt with like the rainbow Maverick logo. I actually got him a sweatshirt with the red, white, and blue Maverick logo.
That's hilarious.
And
as like an ironic thing, or like just
no,
like
not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like
I guess if you did watch it, you were
a percentage of irony, but not like. I enjoyed watching it. It wasn't like, oh, this is so fucking stupid. But I would watch it. And towards December, I started like missing some episodes, and like I was out of it. Like, and Matt would watch Jake every now and again. I never really watched Jake, once in a blue moon, and then so I would watch Logan every now and again. Like we get into January, and I'm watching the suicide video.
You saw the video?
I saw the video.
I never saw it.
And like before it got taken down.
Yeah, wow.
And
was it fucked up?
It is. He gets close to the body. The hands were purple. And it wasn't blurred like you see on like the re-uploads.
Yeah.
I think some of the re-uploads, they don't even show that part. They like skip it. But Logan was like right next to the body. He's like, look, at the hands are purple. He was like right next to the guy. I'm like, this feels wrong.
Whoa.
I didn't finish it. I closed the video. I'm like, what did I just watch?
Whoa.
And honestly, it was really fucked up. And I thought it was. I felt weird watching it. But I didn't think of the backlash.
Yeah.
I just closed my computer because it was like so central to me, my feeling about it, and just thinking it was weird. And then that night or like the next night, he was on World News Tonight on ABC, and like everyone was talking about him. Like, I guess that is that big of a fuck up for like him with millions and millions of people.
Yeah, when you're watching it by yourself, you don't really put it together how big he was. especially at that point
with
massive.
kids too,
Yeah.
like over what was he, like 15 million subscribers or whatever he was
Yeah.
at, and just literally everyone in the news talking about him, which is rare for YouTube.
Very rare.
Because when they even go on like Jimmy Kimmel, it's like, oh wow, how'd you get here? Like
Right, yeah.
H3 will sometimes say, you don't say it to like actors or whatever. They
Right.
want to be treated as like the same as other creators.
Yeah, right,
Because
right.
they're not on all those shows all the time. It's
Right.
they're not. They may be big in terms of like viewership and subscribers, but they're
Mm-hmm.
still. I don't want to offend anyone on YouTube, but they're not exactly mainstream.
It's weird. It's weird to think that they're not, but their numbers seem
They're
so
not.
high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of like, I guess normal. Not normal's not the word, but
The older-
stereotypical pop
yeah.
culture.
The
Like
the old guard would not really even consider
Yes.
them. Yeah, but for me, I just consider them a part of it. But I grew up. In
I
that-
would too.
I grew up. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're growing up in that era where like this has always kind of been a thing. Where like when I hear like, oh, Shane Dawson's doing this thing, I'm like, oh, that sounds really cool. But some people are like, who the fuck even is that?
Yeah.
So when I heard he was doing this, I'm like, fascinating. But I already knew he had done the last two. But I didn't know who those people were. I'm like, this one I kind of have an idea of what this is. Let me try to get into this. But yeah, it's weird that like YouTubers are like so big, but also have someone you go to like a Jimmy Kimmel and go, and who are you? Like it's weird.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my kids keep telling me to bring you on, and I'm not trying to
Yeah.
like offend Jimmy here or anything, but he wasn't saying that like he was a fan or anything. Like his kids were or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And I feel like that's usually.
I mean,
the
he often fucks up with the online stuff, like with the esports stuff. Did you hear about that?
I did hear about that.
Like
yeah.
that was like, bro, just if you don't get it, you don't have to make it clear that you don't get it or
Yeah.
don't care about it. Like just enjoy. Like, let people enjoy what they enjoy. Why you gotta be kind of weird about it? So he often does like he's probably the wrong person to have is that like flag bearer from the old guard coming in. It's like, oh hey, I'm gonna be one to bridge the gap because he clearly has messed it up nonstop. But he's also been the only one to really do it. So
No, yeah, I think it's just a learning curve.
yeah,
And I like Jimmy a lot. I know he gets some shit for like the crying or anything, but that's not his crying isn't a political move. Like with his son's heart condition, or whether it's like, oh, Kimmel and his crying. It's like, no, I think his son like nearly died.
Oh, is
like,
he often like blamed for that, the crying stuff? Like, people use it against him.
I just make it a point to look at the other side, like because I like lean left and am a Democrat.
Right,
I
yeah.
try to like watch conservatives just to. I disagree with like majority of what they say, but there's that one guy with like the signs. Change my mind. What's his name?
Oh, Steven Crowder?
Crowder. Yeah, I'll watch
that right?
Crowder every
Okay.
now and again just to like see.
Get an idea of what
Like
those
I
say.
have feelings about a certain topic. What is he saying? Just because like people talk about that echo chamber, whether it's
Right,
like
yeah.
liberal or conservative echo chamber, like it's a real thing.
It's an unhealthy thing to be in, too.
yeah. So I just make it a point to see like the other side and on what was I talking about? Oh, like Kimmel and his tears. Like
Yeah.
people, I would see like some comments about that. I was like, you think he was trying to manipulate people into being pro like universal healthcare? With no, his son was born with like a dangerous heart condition, and he wants him to be taken care of, and he wants if parents not in his position, like being a millionaire, are in that like position, they might not have the resources to take action.
Oh, right, yeah.
And like
that could be the end of something.
that could
yeah.
be like that kid could not make it to 3
Right.
if like action isn't taken. But we kind of trailed off there. With, love you, Jimmy. But back to Shane.
Yeah.
So like I knew this world. I knew like the world of
You knew it
Logan.
way more than I did.
And
yeah. Because my whole thing is like I said, I grew up basically one summer really liking Shane Dawson, and then also kind of just falling off. Not like, oh, fuck this guy, just kind of like doing other things or just forgetting about it.
Yeah.
Occasionally it would be like, oh yeah, what is he doing? And go and like watch like 3 or 4 videos and go, oh, that was awesome, and just leave and go back to my life or whatever. And then with like, because I never have like fallen away from YouTube. I've always like been pretty much since that summer always been enjoying like the e-celeb world. I think it's very fascinating.
See, I definitely fell off.
Yeah, I never really did. And, like, it probably didn't help that, like, I really enjoyed Philip DeFranco stuff. And even today, it's weird. I got way back into him because of, like, the politics stuff. I'm like, let me have someone to kind of, just one source to kind of just feed me in some basic information, and I can kind of keep up with what's going on. I don't need to necessarily have an opinion either way. And he tries to be as neutral as possible. Yeah. But, like, let me just get, like, a surface level understanding of everything that's going on. So I would start watching him again, and I actually only really care about the internet stuff and like the entertainment stuff he talks about. When he starts getting into like various political stuff, I'm always like, this is kind of boring. Like, I don't really care about this as much. But I have always kind of been sticking with him throughout various years on and off.
See, I remember him as Sexy Phil. That was the name of his channel, right? A while ago.
Yeah. Back in like I think it was like the first name of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. That I'm glad he's still doing it. Yeah, that's funny. That I'm glad he's still doing it because I feel like a lot of YouTubers kind of like dropped off from that era.
Oh yeah.
Like the wine cone. I loved the wine cone. And are you friends with him on Facebook?
No.
Me and Matt are.
I didn't know you could be. That's
and
hilarious.
every now and again we'll see like a post. It's like, oh, Tony, you're still going strong.
There was back in like maybe senior year of high school, it was like me and Kevin were like super into Phil DeFranco, and he got really into Tobuscus. Do you remember who that was? He was he was part of the like gaming primarily, and then he had a scandal. I think it was because like during the Me Too thing, or maybe it was right before that. I don't remember how it was, but some girl had come out and been like, "Hey, he was not very like nice to me, or whatever." So he kind of disappeared for a little while. But there was like these few channels that like I would follow, and Kevin would be really into. I think Kevin has like a shirt from Phil DeFranco or something. But like back in the day, yeah, I think so. Back in the day of like he had like. What was the segment called where he would just show a really attractive girl that someone sent like one of the segments was you sent a picture of an attractive girl, like I think it was if you were the girl, as like ladies of the nation or something, and he would like showcase a hot chick.
Interesting.
Like every episode. And then that stopped more recently it's not been a thing anymore.
I can imagine.
Yeah. But like so I've always been kind of like keeping up with like the Paul family because they were so big. And like I was telling you earlier, I remember him being like, these two vlog stars are coming over to YouTube, and then the reason was because people were like, oh my god, they ruined Vine, they're gonna ruin YouTube, this is the worst thing ever. And like, but he was like, hey, it's not gonna be that bad. Like, look at the immediate growth that these guys have had, and they haven't even put out a video yet. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. And then they would just always pop up in the news with like the assault. I remember that happening. I remember like looking at that.
That was weird.
Yeah, that was super weird. It still is weird. I don't really like fully.
No,
everyone's
even after finishing the documentary, there's still like she had a bruise.
Yeah,
like and they showed her.
They called the cops.
She did like a police report.
Yeah,
they showed her with like a makeup wipe, like to take off makeup. She did it to her neck. The bruise is still there. Yeah, Yeah, there's a lot up in the air.
That one's super weird.
Because Jake said like he shouldn't have been like so trusting to her.
But why would you not? If it's your friend,
why would you not? Like it's so.
So like, what did she not? So it didn't. Nothing happened. Like maybe it wasn't him.
Like the way Jake put it was there was more to the story that he should have looked into it more. But what is that though?
Right, yeah. Like the only argument I see against him right now is like maybe Jake should have made a video about it and looked into it.
Yes.
Maybe not jump onto that immediately, but like at the same time, why would he not trust his friend? It seems very odd. I agree. That seemed like a very weird thing.
Yeah. At the end of the documentary, that was still definitely up in the air.
Yeah.
Like glad Jake took the video down of the like sit down like phase assaulted her or whatever. But yeah, yeah, that's still just an odd situation for everyone. Everyone involved.
Everyone involved. Because I didn't even like, and in that documentary, they have a thing where FaZe Banks is talking with someone, some interview, and he's like, "That was fucking awesome for me. I blew up." Like that's kind of fucked up to think that, but like at the same time, like I didn't know who he was until that happened.
No,
I had no idea. And like I'm semi-familiar with like the other side of him, that like the FaZe gaming, like all of that stuff. I know what that is. I didn't know who he was, but I know that that they're a sizable team throughout various games, so I know that they exist. So it's like weird that like that was like his like big moment. That's kind of odd, but like so like I know a lot of the like things that were happening, and then it was like really with the news van that I was able to really be like, oh okay, Logan's this one and Jake's this one. They're like, I would often hear a story of them and not really waste my time being like, which one was that? I'd be like, all right, so it's one of the Paul guys.
It's one of the Paul brothers. But now there's definitely like Jake and Logan.
Yeah, there's definitely a very clear divide. And I remember when the dad, because I remember there was a big deal with the dad kissing video that Jake did.
Oh yeah, really?
I remember that coming out and being people like, the fuck is this? So like, I'd often hear about, so a lot of the controversies that they covered this, I remember them happening.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. So when this came out, I was like, I'm fucking all on board. I want to know, because I really don't know anything about these guys except for all the shit that like the controversy and stuff that they're surrounded by, and like their shitty songs.
Yep.
Like I'm like
Matt and I know like all the words to It's Every Day, bro.
Do you actually?
Like Matt will put it on and we can like say the whole thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that song is kind of super fun.
Like the way Jake put it, I saw him say once, "No, it's not a good song, but it's fire." And that's right. Like it's catchy, and you can't help but like sing along. But it's still not a good song.
No, it's so bad, and like there's like no flow to it.
No.
But it is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I remember when they were doing like he did that one, and then his brother does like some back song to him, and like then I think Jake did another one. I don't know. They were like going some songs back.
They
and forth.
made It's Every Day, bro, in one day. From like writing the song to the video.
Oh, really? The whole
in
thing?
the studio, literally everything in one day.
I guess it makes sense why the video was filmed at night, because they would have just been done.
Yeah.
That would have been the end of it.
But
that's fascinating. I didn't know they did it in one day.
So after like the Suicide Squad, Suicide Force incident, like I was kind of like checked out of the YouTube world after that. Like Logan made his comeback. I watched it, but I didn't watch like any of his like videos after that. I was just falling out of YouTube. I had other stuff going on. And once this documentary was announced, Mind of Jake Paul, I'm as you said, I'm so in.
Yeah.
To just know more about Jake's world and how he came to be just this kid who sets his pool on fire in the middle of
like a suburban neighborhood
in West Hollywood or whatever. So dangerous, especially with like the fires that happen in California. Like that could have went so bad.
Yeah, and it's so interesting too, because like, love him or hate him, he is a fucking kid from Ohio. Who makes like a fucking $1 billion a year. Like he does. Like what his life is makes no sense.
No.
So if you know who he is, the idea that he was like, I'm gonna go meet him and the people that he's affected around him, his house, and none of that it doesn't make any sense to me. So it was like fascinating to know that he was gonna go and like do that. Even like I was like, he seems like an asshole. And like when he starts it and goes, is he a sociopath? I'm like, that sounds like he probably is. Like I was like, yeah, probably.
The danger, not caring about getting other people into like dangerous situations. I forget the other stuff, but some of it, made sense.
Yeah, like right off the bat, just like, hey, these are some things I'm thinking. Because like when it started, and it's like I've seen some criticisms being like, the thesis of the documentary doesn't really matter past like 3 episodes in of him like being a sociopath, which I get. That is kind of like weird, but for me it was more just like, who is this kid? What is this kid doing? How did he do this? Yeah, and like what is going on? Like, because it seems like not even he understands like what's actually going on. Like, there's just so much, and it's like that's fascinating.
I mean, just to like, it picked up with the Nick Crompton part, and
oh, definitely
the Martinez twins situation is so crazy,
fucking weird.
Because they in the video where they're like, "Fuck you, Jake," they bring up like being handcuffed and all this stuff of the fake pranks.
Right? Yeah.
They're complaining about stuff they were in on.
Yeah, and one was weird too, and they were like, he's like, oh, well, what about when you broke the room down? He's like, we fucking built that in the living room, and then I went back and watched that. Yeah, it's clearly not like it's in the middle of everywhere. Yep. Like that was just there for this entire event. Like that was there to do that. So it's like, oh yeah, they seem like they're full of shit. Yep. Like I feel really bad for Jake, honestly, in some situations.
That story of him going to Spain and like staying with them and noticing how like they were struggling, and them and their mom, and like him bringing them to the U.S. to give them a platform to get millions of subscribers to make money. Yeah. Lots of money. Yeah. And then to be like, no, we're good.
Yeah. It seems kind of fucked up. Granted, the way he's handling it, and I think Shane kind of mentioned that well, is like you really can't be like handing people careers. Yeah. And like, because then they have no sense of like, oh, I owe you, or like, thanks for doing this. They're like, oh, fuck you, I got it. This is my springboard, I'm out. Fuck Team 10. Like, I can kind of get where like that is kind of the wrong like avenue to take it. Yeah. But it is super fucked up. They're just like, fuck you. Like.
And Team 10, as like Shane said, what is Team 10? Like, however many times in the...
Right. But like, honestly, what is Team 10?
Because
he's like...
It seems like...
who are those children?
Jake and like a supporting cast for his vlogs that... Like, as they mentioned, it's got to be so much pressure. You're the moneymaker for all these people.
You're literally paying for their house.
And so many people relying on you for a job. And like, who are those people without Jake?
Nothing. And like I thought about it, I thought it was weird when like it kind of started, and they're like, "Oh, Team 10 takes this much percentage away." Yeah. But now seeing what Team 10 is, you should not fucking say anything.
No,
you wouldn't have anything without him.
Like the people leaving Team 10 with million subscribers, it makes sense that Jake would be taking that percentage because you're not like his friends from Ohio, whatever, getting to like a couple million. Yeah. You don't have that without him.
Right, yeah.
You're just another gamer on YouTube. How many are there? A shit ton. Like, who's... you... Actually, 100% certain you would not get that audience without being involved with Team 10.
Right, yeah. He's reaching out to you to be like, hey, I want to help you out. And you're like, all right, cool. And then you get helped out, and you're like, oh, fuck him. Like, it seems really weird. Maybe, like, I don't I'm not in that situation, so maybe he does do something that's kind of fucked up here and there. But like,
I mean, there are definitely
has fucked up,
moments
yeah.
where like he wasn't completely honest with Shane.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about that.
oh yeah, yeah,
But just seeing what he does for people, and the fact that I can see why he's not trusting.
I mean, the fact that we know who the Martinez twins are, and neither of us are Spanish speaking or from a Spanish speaking country, and like know who they are and their story is like, that's weird.
Yeah,
that's, like,
that is weird.
We shouldn't know who that is, but he
made it
rocketed
happen.
these people up. Yeah, so like he's definitely sort of right when he's like, it's fucked up. These people just bounce on me. Like,
And I can see him being that way. Just the lack of trust, and like Erica needing to help him be trusting again and be loving again after everything that happened.
she
to
seems
him.
awesome.
She seems great. I followed her on Twitter after that. I was
Yeah?
she's as like she said, she's like the only one that's like real with him.
Yeah, which is
And-
probably necessary.
Yeah, because everyone else around him is just kind of in like the fun of Team 10
Yeah.
and like doing
Yes,
crazy
man.
shit together. Yeah. It's like, oh, Jake, you want this done? No problem.
Yeah.
Like she is sort of like the moral compass in a way, and she's the one keeping him grounded. So like the only reason that Jake isn't the same as he was, well, I like to think, like a year ago or a year and a half ago, is because she created Jake Paul 2.0.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just trying to wrap my head around. I don't think I will never be able to wrap my head around the Logan Alyssa situation.
I was just about to say, isn't that so fucked up?
It is unbelievably fucked up. And did you see the text messages?
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, so what's his name? So Keemstar on YouTube
Yes.
is like the drama guy.
Yes.
So Alyssa said, "Listen, Logan, I don't want Jake to find out." And Logan said, "Well, I'm a savage. I'm a maverick. Blah blah blah
Oh
blah."
yeah, she said that in the interview. Like,
Yes.
that's fucking weird. That's a weird reaction.
so
When someone's
fucked
like,
up.
"Hey, don't do this,"
And-
you're like, "Fuck you, I will." It's a
And
weird. way to
Logan
handle that.
said he didn't say that. She sent Keemstar the message, and it wasn't exactly what she said, but Logan said, "We're savages." Logan said he fucked girls literally in front of you. We're savages.
Whoa,
It's like, that's your fucking brother.
that's real intense.
Like, if anything I took away from this documentary
Is that Logan is a
sociopath.
yeah, Logan's a
Yeah.
sociopath. Yeah.
And okay, I understand that Jake would fuck other girls, and that maybe he didn't treat Alyssa right.
He clearly
necessarily.
didn't. Yeah, that
he clearly
seems
didn't.
clear. That
is
seems clear, yeah.
yes, that's a definite. I should have said that. But obviously, he didn't know how to handle their dynamic. But he always had. If he always went back to her, even if
Right.
it didn't last long, he clearly had feelings for her. It was clearly unbelievably complicated.
Right, yeah.
And any brother should know that.
Oh yeah.
And
Especially someone who has such a public life.
Yeah.
I feel like you would understand. Like, even if he's not saying something directly, you're potentially seeing it played out.
like if you're, if Mike's hooking up with a girl constantly, but they're like never dating.
I wouldn't even think about it.
You would never in a million years
Never
would you
even
think
occurred to
about
me.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just be like, all right, that would be fucked up.
I'd be like, why the fuck would I
I've had a friend do that to me, and it was like fucking terrifying. It was terrible.
Yeah.
The result. So I can only imagine if like a relative, like my brother was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna start hitting this girl out that you're." Like,
Yeah.
Clearly, it's not working out for you, so I'll make it work out for me. Like fuck that.
If anyone ever says, "Oh, you weren't officially dating," fuck that guy. He's not your
Yeah,
friend.
right.
He's not there. He's not ride or die. He's an
yeah.
asshole.
Oh, totally an asshole. And,
And-
yeah, I learned that.
Yeah. And just the fact that Logan, his brother, did that, just told me, what the hell is their dynamic? That
don't
Logan
know.
would do that to Jake.
And I don't know if it was just Shane's editing, but a lot of times when they'd go back to some, or like they'd show like clips of them interacting, or it was
Yeah.
like him, Logan, and the dad, and like Jake constantly being like, it seems like he like becomes like far more timid around them.
Yeah.
Like he is the little one in
Yep.
this situation, which granted he was because he's the younger brother,
Yeah.
but he's the small one. Even though he's super jacked and like a full adult, once those three are together and interacting, he's the one who's got to be like, oh yeah, okay, cool. And he quiets down. He's like
Yep.
not as. So like I don't know. Like,
I mean, you saw Logan's reaction. Well, they showed part of Logan's reaction to the Shane doc, where
Yeah.
Logan said, Jake and I aren't that close. We're not a typical relationship.
Yeah.
That was telling.
Oh yeah.
So that's even more, what is your dynamic?
Right, yeah. And then, he's still texting him about, like, the fucking Suicide Forest stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yo, bro, you won't believe what I just saw.
Yeah.
And he's like, or they called him, I guess. And he's like, you're going to post that? And he's like, yeah. Because, like, no one understood. Like, that doesn't even, like, honestly, I don't even, like, blame Jake for not being like, don't you fucking do that. Because who the fuck calls you like, yo, bro, I just saw someone kill themselves while we were filming. It was crazy. And you're like, you're going to post that?
I couldn't wrap my head
like,
around that. I don't.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you actually saw it. And, like, so you had that moment, like, before someone said anything. Like, you had that greater, the hive mind people responding to that. You're just like, I don't know how to handle anything I just saw.
Yes.
Like, that's nuts.
Because I didn't think, why the hell was this posted?
Yeah.
I was just so uncomfortable, questioning. I didn't even know what I was questioning. I was just this doesn't feel right.
Right. Yeah. That must be one of the weirder feelings, to have something that blew up so big, to be one of the first people to see that, and have, like, there is no public, like, reception. It's just like you have to basically deal with that by yourself. You don't have other people being like, that was fucked up. You can go, yeah, that was. You have to, like, process that yourself. Like, that's an intense situation. I could not imagine what that was like, what that possibly is like.
So yeah, you can't describe it.
Yeah,
and just
because that'll never happen again.
No, literally never happen again. To watch something, close your laptop, and just an explosion happens, like, off screen, so to speak, with, like, the reaction and, like, the public outcry and all that. Yeah, there's no fucking words.
It's just like, will never happen. Like, when that Madden shooting happened.
Yeah.
I had to go back and I saw the stream that was happening, but, like, it was kind of like, it was not as, like, prevalent. It was just like they were in the middle of switching transitions and then the firing started. Yeah. So, like, you heard it and, like, that's really fucked up, and I felt uncomfortable, and I saw it when I was like, why did I even search for this? Why did I go out of my way to find this? But, like, to see that live would have been even weirder. So,
definitely.
Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I can't
how
imagine.
how to feel, like, because I kind of knew how to feel because I knew what happened. Mm-hmm. And then, but, like, to have it like where you're just like, there's nothing. This just kind of happened. This is being given to you, and you're like, I don't know how to react to what's going on. That's a weird feeling. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine what that was like.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't even know. I would really love to know what the analytics on, like, the watch time for that video were. Like, how many people dropped out when you did?
Yeah.
How many people watched the whole thing and were like, how many people commented on it? I wish there's a way to, like, see all that information. Because who was, like, in the chat, like, yo, Logan, that's so meaningful. I'm so glad you did this whole, like, anti-suicide thing or whatever the fucking message he had.
Yeah, because how he started the video, it's like, you will never see something like this again. And, like, with the music he chose and everything. And I can't imagine, like, being the videographer. Brendan was his videographer at the time, and he hence left, and, like, he wanted to do his own thing, like photography and all that. But I can't imagine being there. Yeah. And was he thinking we should not be filming this?
Right.
Was he thinking at all?
Right, yeah, because, like, you're in the moment. Yeah. And, like, a lot of people were like, kind of mocking them for laughing, and, like, I don't know how I would handle that situation. No. So I don't want to be the one to be like, why would you fucking laugh? Because who the fuck knows how I would handle. I don't know how I would handle that.
Someone died in my life. I laughed.
Oh, yeah?
It was, I had to leave the room because I don't want to seem like an asshole psychopath who's laughing at death. Because I wasn't literally laughing at death.
Right.
But it just happened.
Right, yeah. You can't control that stuff.
I didn't know why I was doing it, but I just had to leave, and I had to, like, not calm down is not the right word, but I just had to, like, compose myself.
Yeah.
And just, it's just weird. Death is a weird thing, and, like, you can't tell someone how to process it.
Right, yeah. So I never was like, people were like, I can't believe they're laughing. It's like, I don't know how I would handle that situation. Yeah. Especially if I was, like, in a crowd of my friends, and a lot of us being like, what the fuck did we just see? I have no idea. Is that real? Are we dreaming? Like,
you're having, like, sleeping bags, and you're, like, doing, like, this overnight suicide challenge, like, you're having fun with your friends.
Right, yeah, and then something happens, and you're like, I don't know how to handle what's going on. Do we stop? Like, especially, and then that situation, too, which it's kind of their job to be, like, on and, like, keep going. So it's like, all right, we can't really, like, do you stop filming? Like, especially in that guy's situation, like, all right, this is fucked up. Do I not film this? Because then there are parts where Logan's like, yo, come over here and film this. Like, he wasn't necessarily even, like, putting it on camera himself. Mm-hmm. So, like...
I honestly, I don't remember. The hands stuck with me.
I would imagine.
But, yeah, some people were saying he shouldn't have been in the first place. I kind of agree. Like, it's weird to film something out of Suicide Forest.
But then that is what people do, the Suicide Forest Challenge, like you just said. Like, that's a thing people have done. It's fucked up.
That's fucked up YouTube content, but, like, yeah, I agree in that sense. It's just such a fucking weird situation, like you said. Nothing like that will ever happen.
It will never happen again. There will never be someone actually having a dead body as a thumbnail and in the video on YouTube.
That's so fucked up.
That'll never happen again.
Like just him with that look and the body. It's like that's sociopathic.
That is, yeah.
To not take a step back. Oh, sorry, not to take a step back and realize someone just lost their life, and you're using it as like a
clickbait.
Clickbait, yeah.
That's fucked up.
And like, cause he had to like pause to take that picture, like the clickbait picture, and yeah, that's just. Oh, but yeah, I would love if Shane made a Logan.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he was like mentally exhausted with the Paul world. Yeah. So I don't think he will do that.
And I don't think Logan would agree to it.
No.
Because like I feel like he would at least interviewed him a little bit if he could. I don't think he was down at all. And like with the whole just the Paul world in general is like I wouldn't want to be him again and do that. Did you see the video where it was like Shane Dawson reinvented the collab? No. So like these like mini documentary series are basically like the next step in collaboration of like Shane Dawson, because that was his thing back in the day, was he would do a lot of collaborations with people. That's how I found a lot of these YouTubers outside and had that spider web of people I was watching, because he would constantly reach out and do content with people. And this is kind of the new way to do it. I didn't know who Jeffree Star was until he did that documentary. I still don't really know because I still don't.
I saw on Shane's channel that was a bunch of videos. I'm not familiar with him.
But I know like he is a person. Yeah. Like I never would have known that. I barely knew who fucking Tana Mojo was, except for the iDubbbz thing.
I knew her from Maury.
Maury?
Yes. So, like that, it made me question, like, is everything on Maury real? Because it's her and like someone who was on Vine, like this woman and this guy, and like. It's so, I can't even describe it, but all these comments were, is that Tana? And like the girl's name on the show was Tana, and like it was her.
What was she on there for?
Like sleeping with this girl's boyfriend. And she was like, well, why is he in my bed then? And
that is Maury real?
It made me question, because then I found out she was a YouTuber. It's like, wait a minute. So, because I didn't see like the actual show, like I saw like a clip of it. So did they introduce her as a YouTuber on the show?
Right, yeah. That is weird. What is that?
I don't know. Yeah, I wish
that's another thing that's super fucking weird is these daytime television shows getting a resurgence because they're making internet famous people. Yeah. Like the fucking
Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil, he's on that twice now.
What's her name? Her rapper name is
it's like Lil Baby or something. Or
Bad Baby.
Bad Baby.
Yeah.
Bad Barbie. No, Bad Baby?
I think it's Bad Baby.
Is it Bad Baby?
But with a BH. Like Bad BHAD.
Oh, she's
baby.
horrible. Oh.
BHABIE.
This is the worst thing I've ever heard. This is painful.
Yeah, Rice Gum, who makes fun of her, calling her Bahad Bahabi. But yeah, she that's how she got her start. Yeah. And I feel like a few others have.
I mean, at least being like at least meme status, but like I mean, she fucking took it and ran with it.
Yeah, she's making music now, and
it's weird. Isn't she like only like 15 or something?
Yeah, that was a little surprising. I thought she'd be a little just like how she was talking and like how mean she was to her mom.
You're so mean. So mean to Miss Dr. Phil.
Yeah, like you're 15.
That is so. But like. Isn't that weird that those are coming back? Like, I remember when those were all over the place. It was like everyone had one, and now it's like, oh, they're back. Like, Dr. Phil is riding this wave hard, just enjoying the fact that people are going to clip his show out and be like, look at this fucking idiot. Like, that's so weird. I didn't even realize he had a show until she showed up. And everyone's like, oh, look at this chick. Isn't this crazy? What was her phrase? Catch me outside or something? Catch me outside? Yeah.
How about that? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I thought his show was canceled. Like when Oprah left, I thought it was like, it trickles down. Everyone who got a show from Oprah just loses their show.
I don't know. So Smooth Criminal. Annie, Are You Okay?
Yeah.
There was this woman, I think she was on Dr. Phil, who said that song was about her.
Whoa.
Because like her name was Annie, and she said a limousine was outside her apartment building, and she was like, Michael Jackson was in there. I was like, okay, this woman is literally insane. Yeah. So Michael Jackson in a limo, something was happening in her apartment, and she was Annie, and he was wondering if she was okay, and like her daughter was there. I was like, Mom, that's not true. And it was just so weird. She was like convinced that Smooth Criminal was about her.
That's weird.
Yep. Because the real what that came from CPR, right? That's what they used to say. Annie, are you okay?
Oh, is that what it's from?
I think that's what it's
That
from.
sounds
Doing
possible.
I think the
Yeah, yeah.
writer of the song actually came to Dr. Phil. It's like, yeah, that's what it's from. It's not about you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Could you imagine having that reality? We're like, nope, this is 100% true. And if people come up to you like, no, and you're like, nope, wrong. You're wrong. I'm right.
I can't imagine being that delusional.
That must be. I mean, that's definitely like a sign of like greater mental health.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's got to be like being that disconnected from reality is like kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like I was, I think I talked about this in the last episode that I did, but like I was driving the other day and just blacked out for like a period. I just drove like it was supposed to go like Toyota, like my dad's old place. And I just drove like past it to the next like stoplight, and then I was like, wait, what am I doing here? And like that was a weird feeling, and I never want to have that again. But like, there are people who do that all the time, or like have these moments where like they're just so disconnected from reality that they're just like they start acting out in a certain way, and then like, come to and like, what's going on? What's happening? And it's like, I don't know. Mental health's so weird to like have that.
In health class was my teacher in 11th grade. He told us his brother was convinced he was like a big time record producer.
Whoa.
He was like schizophrenic for a little bit. That
Yeah, you can lose that too. That's the weirdest thing. It can come on and go away.
And he was, I don't know if he was like eating lunch with his brother like after everything had happened, like he had come down or whatever. But his brother sat there and told him, I was convinced. Like, it wasn't like bullshit. I was convinced I was a record producer and like a big time like superstar record producer.
Damn.
And yeah, it's just it's scary to think that you can be just a normal guy living your life, and all of a sudden your mind just like alters and you think you're someone else.
Yeah.
Or you think something is true and it's not, and like you're not lying. You 100% believe it.
Yeah.
And it's just a scary thought.
Yeah, it's weird too, because like if you've ever read the DSM, whenever you look up any of those type of disorders, it's always like, and have been doing this for 6 months, and have been doing this for 3 months, and have been doing this for a year.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't have to be from birth, and it doesn't have to be forever, which is super weird.
Yeah.
But like it can just come on, and then it's just like, and the thing that's weird too is like you can be experiencing this for a few months, and it's not like you're not like you can be like that for 2 months, and you won't be diagnosed schizophrenic because they're like, whatever, the threshold's 6 months, the threshold's 3 months. So it's like you just had a weird spell there for a minute, but you're back to normal and we're okay.
Yeah.
And it's like that. So you weren't schizophrenic, you weren't this, you weren't that. You just, that was a weird, you were close, but you weren't there yet. Because that's the final criteria is like, so there'll always be like, say 9 symptoms, and you have to have 6 of them for X amount of months. So you can have 4 of the 6 that you need, and then do it for 2 months, and then you're back to normal. Like, all right, that was weird. You're close, but you're not there yet. And it's like, it's weird how that can happen.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been super delusional, unless all this is in my head and fake.
Yeah, we're in a simulation. You're the only one that's real.
Could you imagine if that was real? Like that was actually happening?
No.
I don't even want to try. That'd be so crazy. But what was I saying? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. But like, yeah, that'd be nuts. Just like.
Do you want to talk about Titans?
Sure. Yes. Let's see that.
So
you've watched some of it.
Yes, I've watched the.
So let's talk about the DC streaming service first.
It's called DC Universe. It's got comics. It's going to have original shows like Titans. And
Is Titans the only one, or just the first one?
It's the first one for now.
Okay.
Like Swamp Thing's in the works. There's the Harley Quinn cartoon. There's Young Justice season 3. There's a lot coming to it, and they also have most of the live action movies that. So the Dark Knight trilogy is on there.
Okay.
All the Superman movies. I don't know if Man of Steel is. It might be everything before Man of Steel. So, like, the current DC film universe isn't on there yet.
Okay.
I think The Dark Knight Rises may be the last one. But everything before that is. Every animated series you can think of is on there. Static Shock.
Oh, nice.
Justice League, Batman, Superman, Justice League
Titans.
Unlimited, Teen Titans.
Nice.
What else? Young Justice. Trying to think if there are any others. Think of any DC cartoon since the 90s with Batman. It's on there.
Okay.
So it's really cool in that
and they
sense.
have all of it on there? It's not like a few seasons of
It's
something?
all on there.
Okay.
When there was a demo period before the launch where a few episodes were missing. Like the Justice League last season where Hawkgirl's planet shows up. That trilogy was missing.
Oh, weird.
But once it launched, like every episode was there.
Okay.
Like everything's there.
Yeah. Okay.
And so they're starting to do original shows, and Titans premiered a few weeks ago.
Do you think the service is worth it if you're like into that kind of
you're
stuff?
yes, if
How much is it a month? You said you're paying $5.
I'm paying $5. Yeah, it might be like $7.
Oh, okay.
And I think once they get more original content, it may be worth it. I'm a huge fan, so I think if you're a huge fan, it is worth it. Just to and let's say you haven't watched any of those cartoons since they aired however many years ago, I think it would be very much worth it.
So I'm thinking about getting it because it seems really fun.
Yeah, because you don't have to look for them online.
They're a nightmare to find.
Yeah,
they've always been.
And if you find them online, they may be like poor quality or like they may be in half a screen with like a picture like border or whatever. So I think it definitely would be worth it.
Okay.
And so I watched Titans.
There's 2 episodes out right now?
3. The third one just it comes out every Friday. It's not they don't release them all at once, which I think is good.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah.
So the first one, just to start off, it is very different than the cartoon, obviously, in tone and in the team.
It's fuck Batman. That's what everyone knows it as right now.
I'm not sure if Cyborg's going to be in it at this point.
Oh, really? He hasn't even been shown in any promotion.
I think he's going to be in like another live-action DC show on there.
That's weird.
I'm not sure which one.
He's in a weird spot where like most people know of him as a Titan, but like he's in the Justice League stuff right now.
There's a huge group of fans now that know him more from the Justice League.
Right, yeah.
Because the New 52, they decided that Cyborg's a full-fledged member of the Justice League. Where I get it, he's a modern character with technology and everything.
Right.
I like him on the Titans.
So do I. I think it's a good fit.
And I like that version of Cyborg, like the having fun version.
Yeah.
Rather than, not that the version who appears alongside the Justice League is bad. I like him. But yeah, I like him on the Titans. And the show starts off with Raven is having a dream. It's like a very vivid dream, though, of Dick Grayson, the Flying Graysons in the circus.
Oh, that's what they do, the history?
This is the very first scene, yeah. Oh, she's in Dick Grayson's past, and they're like flying around. Dick is about to grab his parents. He can't grab them. They fall to their deaths, and like he is sitting there like crying as like his parents are dead, and she's just looking at this, and she wakes up like screaming. The mom comes in, and she's like, Rachel, what's wrong? I had to stop watching.
I didn't. Does she have a first name? I thought
obviously I go back to watching it, but right there, I thought, what do you mean, Rachel? Raven's always Raven.
Raven, yeah.
She should know who she is. Like, it's rare for Raven to have weak moments.
Right.
She's the strong one.
Right.
And every now and again, that's what makes them big moments, when she's, like, not sure of herself and, like, the team has to, like,
and she's
talk her
always
up.
balancing with, battling the idea that she is, like, what she is.
Yeah.
Like, wait, so that's weird that they went that route.
So right away, I'm like, okay, Raven's timid. She's not exactly sure what she is. I'm not big on that.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I went back to it. And so Raven goes to high school and, like...
Is she the protagonist?
No, she was just... I think it's like an ensemble show, but they just started it with her. And she seems to be a big part into the storyline. I'll get into more of that a little later. So she goes to high school. She's like made fun of a little bit. This like jock actually stands up for her. She goes to say hi. He doesn't say anything in the hallway. She goes home. The mom's there. Raven says, I know you're afraid of me. You can't lie to me. Because like Raven obviously has these powers, and so you can't pull one over on her. And this guy shows up and says, Rachel, really, that's what you're calling her? And, like, do you even know who you are to Raven? He shoots the mom in the head.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Like, this is early on.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, okay. I was kind of glad that story was... I don't like Raven being all timid and being with this woman calling her Rachel. It's like, she's Raven.
That is weird, but also weird to, like, counteract that by just shooting that in the face.
Yeah. Because... Did you see Justice League vs. Teen Titans, the animated movie?
No, is that good?
Yeah. I like the DC animated movies. They're more towards like adults, because like the cartoons, Justice League Action, Teen Titans Go are more kid based. Yeah. So it's nice that they keep the movies more for everyone.
Yeah.
In that movie, they go into Raven's backstory of her mother being in college and like summoning Satan, basically.
Okay.
And he shows up. They have sex. She takes the baby and goes to like this other dimension where Raven's raised in like this temple to like manage, not necessarily manage her powers, but that she learns and like she lives her life, but she's bored. So she summons her father, where she's in this realm where her father can never get to her. Trigon, her father.
Yeah.
So she summons him. He shows up. They kill everyone.
Oh.
Her mom, everyone at the. It's not necessarily a convent, but like everyone's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And so Raven escapes and like lives in the modern world. But she knows who she is. She just always knows, like in her rearview mirror, her father may come for her.
Right.
And like they throw down in the movie, and like it ends with like her father, or is that the cartoon where her father's in like the stone on her head?
It was a big part of the cartoon.
I mean, yes, I remember watching the
yeah,
stone.
I'm trying to remember if like,
did it end with her father in her forehead, or was that the movie?
I don't remember.
It might be the movie, but anyway, like her father's defeated.
Okay.
And so right away, that's not the Raven we're gonna see in this show.
Right.
Which I'm fine with different, and it's early. They may.
She might become that.
They may stick the landing.
Yeah.
So I'm not bashing it. It's just for me that was. I got a little whiplash from seeing that type of Raven.
How many episodes is this supposed to have?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I believe it's getting a second season.
Okay. Wow.
So Robin is in Detroit. This all is taking, I think the main story is going to take place in Michigan. Maybe not though, because they end up in DC in the second episode. But it's definitely more.
They take place in our world, not the DC cities.
Yes, because Marvel usually uses like normal cities, and DC has like jump cities where the Titans are.
Right. Star cities where Flash is, and
Central City.
Central City. Star City is
Green Arrow.
Green Arrow. Yeah. That's
And he's a cop in Detroit.
Okay.
And Raven.
He's still Dick Grayson.
He's Dick Grayson.
Okay.
Yeah. He's left Batman. And he obviously does the scene where he beats up all the people.
Yeah.
And like, where's Batman? He's got to be here. He beats him up. Fuck Batman.
Right.
And
the iconic scene.
Yeah. He's so he's a cop. Don't really need to get into much there, but Starfire, big one.
She's very different in this.
Unbelievably different.
And her design is not the greatest.
No, I'm not particularly a fan of.
She's like a prostitute. It looks like. I don't know. Is she actually?
See, here's the thing. So she ends up in Austria.
Okay. No
memory.
She's still an alien? We're not sure?
We're not exactly. So she doesn't know who she is.
Okay.
These like Russians or I forget the accent or like the ethnicity, but they're after her. They want like her dead. Okay. And so she ends up at this hotel with this guy, and she's like, where can I find this man? It's her taking a picture with someone. She ends up there. She's like, I loved you. No, he says, I loved you. And she's like, I can't remember, but I don't think I actually loved you. Mm-hmm. And her name, because Starfire's name is like Coriander something,
yeah,
right? Her name in the show on her passport is Coriander.
Oh.
And so the guy's like about to kill her with a gun. She gets like all orange, and like fire emits from her, and like everyone's burned alive.
Oh, okay.
And like her hair lights up too, and like her face and everything. So
does it look better in motion? Her design, because from the stills it looks kind of whack.
The thing is, I think there's like a spy aspect. I think with her dressing like that, she was trying to get an in. I'm guessing because she has no memory.
Yeah,
she was trying to get an in somewhere to. Because they said it was all about you really threw away everything because of this girl. It's a picture of Raven. So she's trying to find Raven. And I'm guessing that was some disguise, the outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's still like so much to be learned.
Yeah.
To learn. And so she decides to go to we haven't seen her since.
Okay. And you've seen all 3 episodes that have
I've seen the 2. Okay. I didn't see the third one. Because the second one focused on Hawk and Dove.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask who those were. Yes. Okay. So that is supposed to be
I thought of Hawk and Dove as the sort of like the ambiguously gay duo.
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
Yeah.
And the Dana Carvey show and all that?
Yeah, I thought they were.
Yeah. So, except in this one, Minka Kelly, you know Minka Kelly, the actress?
I don't think so.
What has she been in? She's been in stuff anyway.
Keep going.
She plays Dove. And her and Hawk are in DC fighting crime. And Dick Grayson and Raven end up there to like lay low and figure out what they're gonna do. And what I liked about the second episode was the realities of being a crime fighter. Like Hawk is very messed up. He's had a bunch of concussions like in the past year or whatever. I think he was injecting what's the word? You get a blank injection, like an athlete will get
like doping?
No. What's the word? You get a blank shot. Like, have you seen Varsity Blues?
No.
they give
a steroid thing? Or?
No, they give the my God, what is it? But yeah, he's injecting himself with something. He's taking these painkillers, and like he's a very messed up individual, just because he's been fighting crime for all these years.
Hard as shit to do, yeah.
And they talk about like this one last job, like the job to get them all this money where they can not do this anymore. So Raven shows up. She touches Dove's hand, and like she sees like Dove and Robin banging.
Oh.
So she kind of has like that. Yeah, I was like, oh, that is interesting. So Robin,
birds be fucking.
Robin just bangs everyone. Bad girl, and, like literally everyone. So anyway, so there's like tension there with Hawk and Dick about like their past, and like you can clear they're not exact. Well, you can tell Hawk's not big on Dick Grayson, and Dick Grayson wanted to leave Raven with them. They weren't exactly cool with that. Raven kind of felt betrayed, and she actually couldn't tell he was lying when he said he'd come back for her. She was like, wow, you must be a really good liar, because I couldn't even tell because you said you'd come back for me. And he had no intention. He was just going to leave her there. And like he called up Alfred, which is cool because he went through his contacts and it said Alfred Pennyworth. He asked for off screen, he asked for money to give to Hawk and Dove so they could like take Raven in.
Oh, interesting.
And Beast Boy, haven't seen much from him. He stole a video game from like a Best Buy or whatever. Yeah, so he was like a tiger, I think he was a tiger, and he steals the video game, and I think that's like all we've seen from him.
Oh, okay.
No, who else is on the team? Is that it?
That's it. Just be
because
we're missing a cyborg.
Cyborg, yeah. So no cyborg.
Huh. That's a weird. That's a weird interpretation. Those characters.
Yeah, only 2 win. So again, they could stick the landing. I don't hate it. It
okay,
is,
that's probably a good start.
Yeah, it's just very different. If I had never seen Teen Titans, I'd be fine with it. Because I would think of Starfire as this, like, spy, Jason Bourne-esque memory loss who has these fire powers. I wouldn't think... Because, you know, in Teen Titans, she was a princess whose sister stole the throne from her.
Right.
Which ousted her to Earth.
Yeah.
And, if I had never seen that, I wouldn't think, oh, why doesn't she have orange skin? Why all this? Because I didn't get the hate for why she was African American.
Oh, I could care less about that.
Yeah, it was just that she looked human.
She looked human, yeah.
It does not matter what the actress looks like. It's just Starfire should look...
If she's going to be an alien, she should look like an alien.
If she's going to be an alien, she should look like an alien.
We don't even know if she is.
If she's not, that's fine. Like, again, stick the landing. It could be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my... I don't get the hate for casting on race or anything. Like, literally anyone can play anyone.
Yeah. That was one of the weirder parts of the new Hellboy movie. There was the guy who's going to play, he was like an Asian character in the comics, and they're like, oh, we'll leave that for an Asian actor. But the woman that's like the Irish woman that hangs out with Hellboy is being played by a black woman, and no one said anything there.
I see. I get.
Like it's like I don't like. I either just let anyone play any character, or do you want to do a perfect? Like it's a weird. I don't know what like people.
I guess I get that in a sense. There's a shit ton of white characters.
No, that's true. I do understand. Like the reason they probably are sticking with it is because of the minority thing. But like I would rather it be like either a perfect adaptation or just everyone just does whatever they want. Like just kind of don't bully someone to losing a job or quitting a job because they're not what they're supposed to be. But in other cases, like who was it that's got in trouble for not? Oh, Charlotte Johansson was gonna play that, or maybe she still is the trans.
Oh, she's not anymore.
She's not. Okay. Yeah. So like I don't know like what you're supposed to like. I don't know. But granted, she's always been a thing of controversy with roles and
Ghost
stuff.
in the Shell and all that. Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell is another weird one though because it's a robot.
I mean, I'm not familiar with the world.
That one's a weird one because like you can just be whatever you want. It's a robot, but it is a Japanese robot, so I do understand that.
Yeah, for me, I just think that they're in like comics and everything. You don't have to look far for a white character, but like an Asian character, there aren't that many, and like
that's true.
African American compared to white, not nearly as many. Like I don't know what the percentage is, but it's not close.
No,
and
not close.
So I understand if they want to, like if you want to make a character African American, that's fine. I can't think of a character where I was like, oh, they have to be white.
Well, unless it's part of them.
Yeah.
Like Spawn is going to be played by Jamie Foxx because that's a part of him. He's an African American soldier. You know, that's part of Spawn. And Todd McFarlane loves that fact. Maybe a little too much, but like he's very proud of himself for having a very popular black superhero, even though he's in a hood 100% of the time.
No, I don't see any reason to ever make a non-white character white. I just think with the majority of white characters, I think we can easily make some of them not white. Because I don't know, like, even though that's, what's the word? Yeah, they may seem weird to say, other races can do that and white people can't, but I hate, like, virtue signaling, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I hate it. Yeah,
I've realized that we have a shit ton of white characters, and it's fine to, like, make others not white anymore. Like, it's okay. We'll be fine.
No, I mean, there's certain things where I wish they would use another ethnicity, like the Death Note movie. I wish that it took place in Tokyo. I don't know why it took place in Seattle. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, because like the way, like, the main character Light, his whole thing, the reason he can get away with killing as many people as he does is because he's a Japanese high school student who has to study like 8 hours a day for exams to get into college.
Yeah.
So he's locked in his room, and his parents don't think anything of it. They're like, oh, he's just studying. He's being a good kid. Like, it's very important that he's a Japanese kid for that whole thing to make sense. And the reason, like, a lot of the police are just, like, doing it the way they are is because the way the Japanese police, like, handle certain things is very important to that. Like, you know, with the way an American cop would handle it completely differently. So, like, it's weird that you're like, oh, we'll just do it in Seattle. Like, that doesn't make any sense for any of this. Also, the god that's with him is a very Japanese concept as well. So it's, like, weird that you would, like, attempt it in another way. But, like, I mean, the guy who played L was actually not... Well, he was okay. The writing was the problem. He got way too emotional. And, like, L's thing is very much, like... He's very serious. He's very collected. It's a great show. You should watch that if you get a chance. Death Note's amazing. The first half. It starts to, like... Certain things start happening. It doesn't necessarily stick the landing, but that opening is so solid. It's a great, like... I don't know. If the show is 24 episodes, that first half is, like, first 13 are super well done. Because it's like a cat and mouse thing of, like, who is going to win. Because it's two geniuses battling each other, which I always find fascinating.
Yeah.
If I can ever watch something where it's just two smart people fighting each other and, like, trying to outthink each other as opposed to punching each other, I'm on board.
Now, what was with One Punch being on Netflix for a day? Did you hear about that?
Oh, is it season... No, what?
Something was online for a day and they took it off.
Oh, I think it's the episode... Season 2's episode 1.
They took it off? Do you know why?
Yeah, I think it's because... Well, so, like, One Punch is having a nightmare of a production. It's being... The people who did it, which I believe is Bones, lost everything. They don't have the right to One Punch Man at all anymore. So
Really?
Yes, I don't remember why. So the people who are doing season 2 are totally different. I'm trying to remember who it was. It's another development. I can't remember who it is. They are getting it, but I don't even think we're going to have the same voice cast or, like, anything. It's the same. I think it's, like, all its own thing. And it's been in development for years. And then, like, it finally is going to come out, but or something. Season 2 is going through quite the nightmare. But I don't know. I think season 1 is just fine enough. It's a good time. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have. I loved it.
It's real good.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, my friends at college showed me it, and yeah, I couldn't get enough. There was this one fight where I knew when he stopped, he was like, wait a minute. I was like, oh, is he thinking about the groceries?
Yeah.
And he was. I was like, okay, this is so great.
I love that. Yeah, I love it. My favorite thing about him is he's just so out of it.
Yeah.
And I've been reading the manga, and, like, it's very, like, it's a nightmare existence. That universe is so hard to be in. It's like, because the way that the world is set up, it's like giant squares, it's like giant blocks of cities all labeled with, like, a different letter.
Yeah.
And, like, entire sections disappear in a second because everything is so powerful. And then he's just like, ah, fuck, I need to go buy this thing, or I need to do this thing. Oh, I left the stove on. Didn't I? He's, like, just so out of it.
I love it never gets too real.
Yeah.
Like these characters, like, look very intense.
Yeah.
And it never gets to a point of being like a real show. So
no,
to speak.
yeah, it really never does.
That.
Yeah, some of the stuff lately in the manga have been very much because they update so infrequently, so maybe the pacing just feels off. But, like, it is very much like you go, like, I don't even think Saitama's been in the manga for, like, 4 or 5 months. Like, it's been
really?
It's been a lot of the other characters in the Hero Association because it's a battle between, like, a monsters. They call themselves the Monsters Association. They have another name, but it's like there's, like, a higher up monster feeding out people and turning people into monsters, and then there's the heroes fighting them. And right now they're invading, like, so, like, each chapter has been, like, a main hero fighting their counterpart villain or monster and doing their thing. And they're showcasing the people, which is kind of nice to see, like what does Child Emperor do? Like, he's just a kid with a bunch of inventions. What does that look like? Oh, he can do this now, and this is the other thing he's developed. So it seems to be focusing more on them, but I really just want, but like I guess you have to, because if Saitama is the only character, he just shows up and ends it. Like it's just like you can't have
like it's been like a couple of years since I've seen it, but they establish like a storyline. Shit's going down. It seems really real. It seems like an intense show, and before Saitama shows up, it stays that way.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
But then he shows up and like Saitama's tone takes over.
Yeah.
And then it's over.
Yeah, it's over. That's the thing. You can't, if you want a story to exist in that universe, you can't have him be there.
Yeah.
Like, so I understand why he hasn't been for a long time, but like, there's this one guy he's actually hasn't been around for a while either, but he is like, is it Fang? The old man monk, was he in the show? He's part of the Hero Association. He's like an old monk dude. He fights with like his hands, like kind of like snake style or something.
I don't know at this point.
I can't remember if he was there, but he has like a studio, and he taught this other guy named like Gauru or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna be a monster, because he was like, as a little kid, he watched some superhero show, and he just related to the bad guys. So he's like, I'm gonna be a monster, but not actually like make that transformation. So he's been like fucking people up a lot. But the twice now he's walked into Saitama just like walking home, and like Saitama just like turns and like hits him by accident, and like not like, because he's become like a hero killer. He's like hunting heroes and beating them up real bad, and he's like, oh, I gotta get this one guy. He's the best. Like this guy keeps like eluding me, and every time like he's not even aware he's like beating this guy, but he just is. It's been pretty fun. I enjoyed that series a lot.
Now, do you think you will? Do you have a PS4?
I do.
Do you think you'll get the Spider-Man game? Oh, do you have it?
I have it.
Have you started it?
It's so good.
Yes.
So
fucking incredible. How far are you?
Where am I? I have the fucking mini 9/11 just happened.
Oh my god.
That was crazy.
So chilling, right?
Fucking crazy.
I talked about, my friend Paul also played it, and he called, because I was a little ahead of him, and he called me after. It was like, he plays more video games than me, but he said he's never had an experience in gaming like that.
It was pretty intense.
And I was blown away. I
honestly, for a second, thought the game was just going to switch to Miles being Spider-Man. Because, like, Peter's, like, unconscious. Massive spoilers for this halfway point of Spider-Man. Yeah. But, like, he's, like, unconscious, and you just start playing as Miles.
Which I thought was so cool that we got. Because when he does that, like, not a side mission, but he does that mission with the cop. I was like, is his son Miles Morales? Yeah. Just because, like, being a fan of Spider-Man, like, being good with, like, gadgets and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, once he said that, he goes, oh, you got gadgets? My son would really like you. And I was like,
Miles in this game?
Yeah. I remember hearing that he was going to be in there, and then the helicopter fight was the first footage we ever saw at E3. And it ends with the guy going, yo, Miles, come over here. And I was like, Miles is going to be in this game? And then I forgot about that. Until like that moment, damn it, computer. Until that moment happened, I was like, "Oh wait, he's in this game. That's right." Because I run into his dad. I'm like, "All right, you don't just have a character walk in and goes, hey, I'm Jeff Davis." You're like, "That's a weird name. You must be someone." So I looked it up, and it's like, "Oh, it's Miles' dad."
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I knew his dad was a cop. I forgot his dad's name.
Yeah, I forgot it too. I didn't know what it was.
And
they have a different last name, which is odd.
Yes.
So it didn't even click with me. I was like, he has it, but like it was so like weird, his introduction to being like it's almost like, you know who this is, but I didn't know who it was. But
that scene, chilling, and just sitting there dumbfounded.
Yeah.
And it
was a good like parallel with how Peter was feeling when at the funeral. And he's like, I just want to help him. It's like no one knows what to say.
And after like Miles walks away from the funeral, and just the rain's coming down, and you're like perched up.
Yeah.
I was just, this is incredible. Yeah. Like I thought the game was like really good before that. I was like, incredible. Yeah. Like we've gone to like another echelon of just greatness.
It's real solid. And like I don't even really like, a lot of people are saying like God of War is gonna be the game of the year. I don't even like that game that much. But like I definitely think like this is way more in the running than that. This is doing like way more. It's like actually fun to play too.
My friend Paul played God of War and he loves this a lot more.
I think this is way better because like God of War is like it's not what I wanted out of that. Like I had leading up to that, I had played all the older ones. Yeah, and like they're like dumb fun. You're like, you're not learning anything.
I played the third one. I thought it was great. That's the only one I played.
Third one's definitely the best one. It's the idea realized. Yeah. But the first two are like, all right, you're doing something neat, but it's still kind of a mess. And by the third one, you're like, okay, we figured it out. We got this now. Like, this is cool. And then by that fourth one, it's like kind of slow and like a lot of talking.
I
watch a movie.
I saw my friend finish it, and it didn't seem enough.
It doesn't.
Like with the drawings, like, oh, that's you. It's like, your real name's Loki.
What? Yeah,
And then it's over. Like, you never get to see Odin.
There's the only I don't know if your friend saw the secret ending, but the only time you see any Norse gods you recognize is in the secret ending where Thor comes to the door.
Oh, I don't think he saw
So they
that.
I forget what you have to do. You have to do something, and then or maybe it's I forget. You do something and you can trigger this secret ending. And remember how like Boulder showed up at the door at the beginning? Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
So
see
they
that,
recreate that scene, but instead of Boulder, it's Thor. And but he doesn't. You don't even see his face. He's got a big hood on, and all you see is him push his cloak apart, and there's a hammer there, and the lightning starts going off.
That's it.
And that's it.
Huh.
And that takes place a couple years later. So I guess that's where if there's a sequel, that picks up
Yeah.
from there at that moment, which is weird that every time they have an adventure, someone just literally comes knocking on their door and like, hey, I want to fucking kill you. Like, kind of a weird way to happen, but
Yeah.
all right. But yeah, like there's no real like gods. The last boss is like 2 hours before the ending. Like you fight Boulder in that like big square ice thing, and then you walk up a flight of stairs.
Yep.
For hours, like an hour straight, just walking, and then yeah, you have like the most like limp fart fucking reveal of like, oh, your son's Loki.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, hey, yeah, that's your son, right? It's you, and they're that. And it's like, oh, well, that'd been cooler if like we saw him like have Loki moments, but no, it's just like,
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't get to play it, but from the looks of it, I think I would have liked more. And from what you're saying and what he was saying, I think that's the general consensus.
yeah, I think Spider-Man is just way more fun. It's way better because it's just fun to swing around.
That's exact. You feel like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Just the way you swing around and
And the thing I think is so cool about the swinging is there is a skill to it, but even when you fuck up, the animations look like you didn't.
yeah.
So like if you like fail to like swing off of something, because it's nice, it's not moon swinging, it's actually has to tether to something.
Yeah.
So like if you don't hit the swing, you don't swing on something correctly, or you go over a smaller building, Spider-Man hits the ground, tumbles, and bounces off.
Yeah.
As if like that you did that on purpose, and it looks super cool. So even if you mess it up, you're still like doing like you're still like you look cool doing it.
Yeah.
But if you're like actually like kind of master it a little bit, you're like if you're in a lower roof city, you're like springing across with the launch, like you shoot the 2 strings and pull yourself
Yep.
forward and launch off.
I love going onto like a smaller building and like putting one hand on the ground and like flipping upwards.
It looks so cool.
Yeah.
The thing where you go around the corner and you like hit the corner of the web and like swing around the side.
Have you gone through like a water tower yet?
Water
Like
tower.
you have like the water tower and you have like the bars underneath them on like roofs in New York. Have you seen? Maybe water tower's not the right word, but you've got like a water container.
I'm trying to think because I've been everywhere in the city. I do every single time they open up a side quest thing or just like a collectible.
That's what I would do. I would do it immediately.
Yeah, I hate dirty maps, so I need to clean them up immediately. So I'm like, I'm gonna go find everything. So I'm trying to remember if I've seen that.
And well, there's just a bunch of them on the roofs, and if you like hit the L2 R2, you like dive through it in slow motion.
Yes, I know
Have you done
exactly.
that?
Yes, I know exactly. Yes, they're like the little water tower things.
Very
yes.
cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of small things like
Yeah.
that.
Like it's just it moves so smoothly. It looks so cool.
The podcast, Jameson's podcast,
It's so funny.
fantastic.
It's so good.
and it happens in like real time.
Yeah.
You do something in the game, he talks about it a few minutes
If you
later.
don't do something, he'll talk about
Yeah.
it. If you like, if the little crimes happen and you pass them and you just keep going, that person will call in instead of defending you, be like, yeah, he fucking just left, and then he'll be like, Menace, I knew it, and then hang up.
Yeah.
Like it's awesome. It's so cool. They like, it's
they thought of like everything.
Yeah, and it's like it comes up just enough that like I sometimes when I first started playing it, I'm like, oh okay. When I do the side stuff, I'll like put on a podcast or I'll watch a YouTube video while I'm doing it, so I can like listen to something because I'll just be swinging through the city with total silence. No, stuff comes up on enough where like like I kept having myself like pause it so I could listen to what the game was saying and like keep up with what the little stuff they were doing. And like, oh, I actually don't even need to like do other things. Like 'cause some games you get to the side quest stuff and it's just like hitting stuff on a checklist.
Yeah.
You're not really paying attention. It doesn't really fucking matter. You're just going through and hitting and all that. But like no, everything has like some kind of like. Anytime you do something, Spider-Man has a quip to it. Like when you go and find a backpack, he'll tell you the story
yeah,
of what it was. Or
I thought that was cool.
the Black Cat, you find any of her things, and he'll have a thought like, oh, this building houses this thing. She must have been trying to steal this thing from here, and da-da-da. And like, it's just cool. They like covered everything super well. It's definitely really good. I hope you get that job in Insomniac then.
I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah, but
I mean, I would definitely apply if they had like another opening in their creative team
But what'd you exactly apply for there?
to be on the creative team.
Oh, okay. That is what that is. Okay.
Yeah,
What, I
and-
don't know what that does. Just come up with stuff.
You're just a writer, and
okay.
they say, hey, we want to make well, since they might do like more Marvel, hey, we're gonna do an Iron Man game.
Yeah.
Write an Iron Man story.
Did you play the new DLC for the Spider-Man one?
No, I think
It's Black Cat focused, right?
I mean, I love Black Cat as a character, but I think if I do play it, it'd be after all 3 chapters are out.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they had planned so much ahead of time.
Yeah, because it's which I love that she was in it, because it was a little disappointing when you finished the Black Cat side. It's not necessarily missions, but
It's like just collectibles. Yeah.
side collectibles, and you get to like her lair, and you realize it was a distraction, so she
Yeah.
could steal her suit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I thought we'd get to meet her.
And you get to
But
finally meet her. Which
You get to meet her in the
cool,
DLC, which is really cool. And I'm guessing if I play it, it'll be like, what, December the last one's coming out, or like
I think
whenever
so.
that is.
Yeah, it's coming out. They're gonna come out at a pretty reasonable pace.
Yeah.
Instead of like sometimes their games would have something like this where it's like Horizon Zero Dawn. Have you played that yet?
No.
On PS4, it's really good. But the DLC
My
came
friend
out.
Paul did. He loved
Yeah,
it.
it's really good. But the DLC came out in like February, and the game came out in like I don't know, August of the year before or something. Like it was like months apart, and like I like totally forgot about it by the time the DLC came out. I never even got to it. But like this is nice, where they're actually kind of trickling. Granted, I'm starting this game way later than most people, but like it's they're starting to trickle out as I'm in the middle of doing it, which is cool.
What was the last thing that happened? Just so I don't like spoil anything.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, I went and broke into the warehouse for the demons. And then I unlocked the demon warehouses, and I've been clearing those.
Okay, yes.
last thing I did
like
was-
the base tokens.
Yeah,
and all that.
so the last thing I did, I think I cleared all of them at 100%. I was going through and finishing
So
all of them.
you've been Mary Jane though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that. I like that because animated series, movies, we've only seen her as like the actress Mary Jane. I think it's cool to see her as
That next step.
the reporter.
That's the thing I like about this game is it was so smart to have it take place 8 years after. So there's a history with everyone. Everyone's been somewhere and has done something.
He's out of college.
Yeah.
I like this established Spider-Man.
Like, this
And
is kinda cool.
They're not afraid to make it their own world.
Yeah.
And to like
But it still feels really, really tied to the Marvel Cinematic
yeah.
Universe, which is super cool.
I
Like,
feel like it feels tied to everything Spider-Man.
yeah. Like it feels like if someone wanted to tell me this game is canon in the MCU, I'd be like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. It's just 8 years after what we know now. Because like it's cool to like actually go to like the Doctor Strange's sanatorium or whatever it's called, like seeing
Sanctum
Sanatorium, that's what it is. Seeing the fucking Avengers Tower in the distance of the Manhattan skyline, like it's really cool to actually see some of these buildings and like see like things
what they did with
existing.
New York was incredible.
It's super good. The streets are fucked up, but it's super cool.
Yes.
So I tried to find the Ghostbusters firehouse because it's there.
Yeah.
And like there's like got a little ghost spray paint on the side of it and stuff. It's like pretty neat. But like I could not figure it out for the life of me. I had to look up a video to show me exactly where it was because I was like, oh, I'm on this street. I should be pretty close because it's on like. It's like I forget what street it's on, but like I would if I see it I'd recognize like where it is. Like, oh, it should be right near here. And I like walk down the block and then like the next intersecting streets were like didn't make any sense. I was like, oh wait, what? And I like flew down like more streets. Like, where am I? And I actually pulled up a Google Maps of New York City.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, these streets names exist, but they are not. None of these intersect like this. So the street names are a little weird. So like you can't necessarily follow as easily. But
Did you see the video of the guy playing Spider-Man? And he
when he turns out and
looked
it's
out his
just-
window, and it was the same building.
right, yeah,
That was incredible.
That was so funny. Yeah, he had the same like perspective both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And someone said, "Go to your roof. Spider-Man's there." 'Cause Spider-Man was on that roof
Right,
in
yeah.
the game.
That's hilarious. That was really cool. Yeah, I mean, they really nailed like the look of it, and like I'm actually getting like more comfortable with like Manhattan. Where like if I'm swinging through, I'm like, oh, I'm in Hell's Kitchen right now. I don't have to pull up the map anymore. I can just kind of have an idea of where I am. Where it's like, or I'll fly by like a landmark, like one of the churches in there. I'm like, is this the church that Spawn stands on in the animated series? Because it looks just like it. I think it is. I think it's because Spawn takes place in New York City.
Yeah.
So I think it's like because he like for some reason he always stands on like this cross and it looks dope with his cape floating in the air. But like I think that's like where he hangs out. Is like this little poor. It's like it's in Hell's Kitchen. It's like this little poor like church, but it looks really cool. It's like really tall and.
They have a lot of Easter eggs for the Marvel shows on Netflix.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Jessica Jones's place is you can
Jessica
find
Jones, her Alias Investigations.
Yeah.
Luke Cage's bar.
Oh, is that what that bar was? Because I had looked it up. Because it's one of the locations you have to take a picture of.
Yeah,
And I was like, I don't know
there's
if this
also
is at all.
Josie's bar, which Matt.
Oh,
and-
Josie's bar is the one.
That's where Matt and Foggy go to.
And there's Foggy's gym was one of them, or if there was a gym that had his name attached to it.
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, there was a lot of
Like all of Hell's Kitchen's like places to take pictures of were like from the Netflix shows.
and there's like Rand Enterprises, which is Danny Rand of Iron Fist.
Oh, I didn't even put that together.
Yeah, that was in there. Yeah, I love that they, even though the MCU doesn't necessarily acknowledge those shows, that the game did.
Right. Yeah.
It's cool to have.
It's
those
like
types
using
of Easter eggs.
everything.
Yeah,
it's
compiling
nice.
everything. Yeah,
it's like nice, especially as like someone who's a fan. Like maybe I haven't seen a lot of the Netflix shows, but like if you've watched it all or whatever,
I thought it was great.
That's really cool. Like, I always like it when things. It happens mostly in games, I've noticed, but like they reward you for knowing all of it. Where it's like, hey, if you have watched all of these things and paid attention to this, we're gonna keep it here for you. Like it's here. This is for you. Like this is a gift from us to you. As like thanks for just paying attention to us for this long. Like I think that's always super cool.
No, I think it's obviously a great game for a casual Spider-Man fan, but I think it's an amazing game for like a huge huge Marvel fan.
What do you think of the new suit? There's a lot of controversy around that white spider. I like it a lot.
I like it. I didn't use it too often.
Which one did you end up using?
That I used. Let's see. Let's go. I don't want to spoil. How many suits have you seen?
Half of them.
Okay, the MCU Iron Spider, have you seen that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So once I unlocked that, I used that till the end of the game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and since I did all the side quests and everything like right away, I unlocked it pretty early.
Okay.
And I used that until the end, what else? Yeah, so I used the one with the white spider.
Mm-hmm.
I used the negative suit.
That one looks cool. Is that from something specifically?
I don't know.
'Cause it looks really cool.
I used it, but then like
What's the one with the quad damage bonus? It has like giant gauntlets.
Yeah, the one with like it's like a red jacket, leather jacket.
No, it's like blue and black, and it has like these giant gauntlets. And the power up it has is quad damage. I don't have any challenge tokens yet.
Is
so
it gray with like the big arms?
Yes.
I don't.
It's from a run of comics, and I looked it up and I was like, I don't know what this is. Like this looks so weird.
No, it looks a little similar to at the end of Spider-Man the Animated Series, he goes through like the universe with Madam Web to like all these other dimensions and sees other versions of himself. One version is a billionaire, and he has like an Iron Man suit that's silver.
Oh.
And it looks similar. It's not that in the game.
Okay.
Like it's completely different, but there's a similar look to it.
Okay.
And yeah, so there's that one. But yeah, I used the negative suit, but then once like the explosion happened and like I was standing in the rain, I was like, I can't wear this fucking suit, like because it's similar to like the demons color wise. So I went back to the original suit, like
the very original,
the very original suit. I was like swinging around. I was like, I'm still here in New York. I'm fucking here for you. And I used that. I used do you have the one with like it's the spider armor Mach 2?
Yes.
With like the red.
Yes.
I used that one, and I think I used that one until I unlocked the Iron Spider.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I would like maybe for like a little bit I used Spider-Man 2099.
Okay. Yeah.
Didn't use it that often though because I went back to the Iron Spider. But yeah, I thought there was a cool variety of suits.
Yeah, and they all have really cool powers.
Yeah.
I pretty much don't see why you wouldn't want the one that just generates focus for you.
Mm-hmm.
That one seems amazing.
That one. Like, I would use one that like attacked, but though it's always there for like health.
Yeah.
So like if you're getting fucked up, change your power back to that one, heal up, and then
Oh, you can change it mid-battle?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, you can change it all the time.
I've been using that one exclusively because like what I'll do is while I'm swinging to my destination, I activate it, fill up my gauge, get there, knock out 7 or 8 people because I have the
automatic,
double, the automatic double one.
It's so cool.
So I literally land and just knock out like a bunch of people in a row, and then burn out all my meter, and then that by the time that's done, that power up's about to be back up.
Yeah.
So then I can just have that for like midway through the fight. The fighting is so good.
Yeah.
It feels so good when you don't get hit.
Oh my god, it feels incredible. Hitting like triangle and O for the automatic ones, and like the 2 in a row.
Yeah.
And sometimes he'll. Because the animations are so cool when he does
sick,
that.
Yeah.
Like when they're
situational where you are and the opponent.
Yeah.
Where like you'll like grab someone out of the air and smack them down, or like jump off a wall to do it.
I love the kick to the face.
It's so cool.
Like the opponent is falling like face down to the ground. Spider-Man jumps up, kicks him in the face while he's about to fall.
My favorite one is when he webs both of their hands, jumps over them, crosses their arms, then pulls it down their throat.
Pulls it on. Yeah, that's great.
That one is so cool looking.
Yeah, it's little things like that, and like because. There's not like a real flaw. Like story-wise, great. The fighting's great.
Yeah.
New York is great. Like with all the Easter eggs, and I don't see why it could get any hate. To be honest.
Yeah, really, I don't think it has.
No, it's getting great reviews.
Yeah.
I just couldn't picture it getting hate.
And the thing too, I really like is all of the side stuff, like the Harry's little research labs and the missions or the bases, and they have like their requirements. They require you to do things that you might not think to ever do. Like, you can't just spam the same things for 30 hours and get 100% in this game. If you want to do it, like, all the way through. Like, one of the challenges was, like, use 3 of the wall attacks, where you dodge into the wall, stick to the wall, and then attack off. And I was like, I've never even, like, done that intentionally.
See,
and now it's part of my kit, though. Like, it's cool.
You can get 100% without doing those. Like, you just have to finish everything.
Oh, okay.
But, like, to get, like, the full amount of tokens, so obviously you need to do that. Yeah. So once I got 100%, I went back and did some of those things. It was like, I guess I never thought about doing that. But so I went to that base, wherever that, like, off the wall 3 times did, and I did it, like, so many times.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is really fun.
It's, like,
just
really
to,
cool,
jump off the wall, go back at people, Like,
it was, like, cool. And, like, some of the Harry's challenges things, you're like, I didn't, like, even know how to use some of these things. Like, or I wouldn't even think to use, like some of the gadgets I wasn't even using until I unlocked the spider bomb, or the web bomb. Yeah. I was like, oh, these are amazing. These are so good.
I love the trip mine.
Yes.
That's my favorite one.
That one's super good.
Just to let them walk into it.
I like the trip mine. I like the the impact web.
Yep.
And getting like the max impact web where you like hit someone and they go flying 30 feet into a wall. It's like, oh, this is so good. So like I'll do that now. I'll drop down, knock out a whole bunch of people, just start shooting impact webs at people. Then whoever's left, hit them with a spider bomb or web bomb, then go beat the crap out of them. I'm like, that's right. There's webs everywhere. I could not imagine living in New York City with Spider-Man.
No.
There would be web everywhere.
Plus like the Avengers tower looking over you.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The Avengers are throwing down at the tower probably all the time.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like, shit happens there. And, to just... that be part of your day.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why isn't the train running? Oh, Spider-Man's fighting Doc Ock.
Yeah.
It's destroyed.
Yeah. Good looking to work.
Yeah.
Like, cause there's sometimes, too, where it's like, like, I'll have, like, a big fight with someone, and I'm like, I don't know who the fuck's gonna clean this up, because I just blew my load everywhere. Like, there's just a mess. There's a bunch of bodies, people stuck to the wall, there's web everywhere, like... This must be a nightmare to be like the civil service of this.
I hate the big guys.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm Spider-Man, I have super strength. Why doesn't my punch affect them? Like, it's no problem, like, using the gadgets and everything to, like, fuck them up.
Right, yeah.
But...
like, why is it that has to do it? Yeah.
I punch them, they do nothing, they punch me once, I go flying and lose a quarter of my health.
I do like that if you hit them with a web and try to do the swing thing, they'll just grab it and pull you to it. You're like, I think that's kind of cool. Like, no, fuck you. None for this.
No, it's not like a negative thing. It's more just like playing damn those big guys. Because, like, they get momentum, too. Like, they'll punch you once, quarter health. They'll punch you again, like, a second later.
The one that keeps fucking me up is the guys who have the stick weapons. Either it's, like, the baton or, like, the demons have, like, a weird scythe thing. If you come in and hit them, if you don't immediately dodge, they don't have hit stunts. They don't go, like, oh, I got hit. They get hit, and then while the animation is coming back, they come up and hit you. So,
what is it, the sword? One of those guys, no, it's like a liquid sword.
Yeah.
That sounds weird, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's the guy that, like... you can't really... It's not nearly as easy to kill him as, like, all the other demons.
Yeah, it's weird. And the fucking demon shield guys are amazing. They have that huge range attack. Yeah. Where they throw the shield on the ground. And like, when that first happened, I was like, what is going on? Who is causing this damage right now? The shield, I think, everything seems super cool. The boss fights are actually pretty cool. Because the first one I did... being Shocker, and you chase him. Yeah. I was like, is this gonna be what the boss fights are like? Because this is kind of weak. And then he comes back. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Thank God. I actually get to like do a one-on-one with this guy and like environmental stuff. It's pretty good. This is much better. Like, because if it was just like everyone runs around the city and you just chase them for like, 30.
Oh, trust me, it gets real. There's I'm not gonna spoil anything remotely, but there's a moment when you're like, oh my God, this is the greatest game in the history of everything.
Well, I know they have the in one of the other E3 trailers, they showed, what do they call the big prison?
Wait, what?
The prison?
Oh, the raft.
The raft. You go to the raft because the Sinister Six is breaking out of the raft.
Yes.
And that looked pretty dope.
That it is beyond dope. That is what I was referencing.
So they do that, and then where that cut off is like the 5 of them are standing around him, and he looks up at one person and goes, you, and then it stopped. So I don't know who that other person that was standing over him was, but everyone else is there.
Shit gets real. There's fights leading up to that, to like your journey to the raft, that that span of like 15 minutes or whatever is just incredible.
Yeah, because when they started talking about like, oh, we're sending fists to the raft, and then the raft was like a place you could take a picture of, and I'm like, there's no way we don't use this in any real capacity. Like,
yeah, because usually it's like in the middle of nowhere. It's not right off the coast of New York. I was like, wait,
it's like literally in the Hudson River. Yeah, it's like you could like see it from like Manhattan and Queens.
Yeah, you can kayak to the raft.
Yeah. It's pretty. It's really well done. I really enjoy it. I've been like sticking around with that and Soulcalibur 6 on and off.
Yeah, I haven't played any of those games, but you can create a character.
Yes,
that's because I feel like it's a fighting game, right?
Yes, it's a weapon-based fighter. So you basically have a style, which is a weapon type.
Yeah,
and then you can have so like there's the cast of 18 or something that all have different weapon types, and then there's a creative character where you assign them a weapon you want them to use, and then literally do fucking whatever you want. Some of them are crazy. I saw one that was a woman, and then she had a giant dick that was coming feathers.
Oh my
god! There was one that was. I'm gonna see if I find the video. It was because you can create like all sorts of like stuff. This guy made like Magikarp, and like it's crazy. People are getting so into the character creation thing. I like the actual base characters. I think they're really cool because I grew up playing them with them a lot in Soulcalibur 2. So I'm always like, oh great, I'm glad these people exist. This is nice, like whatever. But it is kind of cool. Some of the things people are making is fucking insane. Like people are going way out of there, just like creating characters and game like things. I'd be like, I can't even believe they put this together. Like
because I'm trying to think of games that have had that, and in the last Smash you could create Mii's, but that's not nearly the same as creating a full character.
Yeah, it's not as detailed. Like here's one. Someone literally just made a cube called the Cube. It's a rainbow cube. Like I don't know how they did that.
Someone made like a human version of Kirby.
Oh, that must be terrifying.
That was a little weird.
That must be terrifying.
I was like, oh my god.
I haven't seen that. That's actually awesome. Because some of them are weird. They're like, oh, they do a thing that shouldn't be like a person model, and then they push it past. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. I always love seeing like the vast creativity of like a community come together for something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, a lot of the times I'm like looking through some of these, and because you can see like their someone makes like a really baller character or whatever, and you can in game itself, and you can see like click on them and see their what do they call it? It's like their player card. It gives their information, and like a lot of these people don't even like play the game. Like they have like no online rating. They haven't like even done much of like the story. They're just making characters because like it's fun for like that's the part they're enjoying the most of. Like it's weird that that's like where this is headed, but it's kind of neat too.
And can you access like so you can upload your character?
Yeah,
like,
you
can access like all of them.
Yeah, it's weird. There's no search feature though. It's so it's so weirdly backwards. So you just have to go through one at a time. But like it's still kind of nice to see some of them because like you're like, oh, I didn't even think of that one. Like that's really cool. Like, oh, okay. Like I forget I ran today. I finally figured out how to even search. I couldn't even figure out how to like look through them until today. I was like, let me figure out how to do that. So I jumped on to see what it was. And I was like, oh, okay, this is how this works. Like you can do whatever. And yeah, it's a pretty cool. I mean, it's fun to play. I enjoy playing it too. Yeah. Like it's fun to actually like play. But that is a feature that I want to enjoy more. And you can download them too. So once you find them, you can like add them to your roster. Like I added something today. I was like, that's really fucking cool. Oh, someone made the guy from Spy Kids.
Oh, yeah, Spy Kids, Elijah Wood's character.
Yeah. They made the guy.
That's awesome.
That's the thing, too, I really like about it, is people are getting so weird with it. It's not like your typical, like, oh, I made Pikachu or whatever. Someone's like, I made Pepsi Man.
What?
Yeah. Like, they're getting weird with it. They're going in the weird place. They made the guy. Like, I think it's, like, kind of fun to see people are like, what's the thing? Oh, here it is. This is going to make a lot of noise. Yeah, this is one of them. Someone made a lizard with a giant dick.
Oh my!
I don't know why my camera's not turning. And then that character, he has a thing called Centipede, where he bends backward, which he's about to do in a second here.
What?
And so it's people are making like I'm trying to find someone made Piccolo.
Oh, nice.
So some of them are really good too. Oh, this is the one I'm thinking of. So this guy made Spider-Man, and the other guy made Magikarp, and then. The way the guy who made Magikarp, the way he hits the ground, he turns into Magikarp doing splashes on the ground.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I found that one today. That one I have saved in my thing now. I finally found that one. But like people are going real hard and like creating like because what I assumed it would just be anime characters nonstop, but people are making like everything that they could. I saw Ronald McDonald the other day.
Oh, wow.
Everything.
No, I think that's definitely a cool aspect that could be utilized in other fighting games.
Just any game. I don't think a lot of games have a lot of cool customization options.
True.
Like it's
like with the suits. I can't think of another Spider-Man game where you could have however many suits there are, like 30 or whatever.
It's something like that. It's like every 2 levels or something you get one.
Yeah, and I just think that's a great option. No, I'm feeling more like this one.
Yeah.
And just
I really do like the White Spider though.
I do too. I think it's different. And when you, whether it's a game, movie, or whatever, I think it's definitely daunting to make a new suit because people fucking love Spider-Man.
Yeah, there was a lot of criticism towards the White Spider, and but it's nice too because the first few suits you unlock are the basic ones, the ones from the original thing, and then even the Stark suit was kind of cool. I honestly like that one less, having seen the other ones like next to it. Like when I first saw the Stark suit come into play, like in the movies, I was like, that's really cool design.
Which the
one from the movie where he's got the smaller eyes.
Okay, so the one he got in Civil War, or the Iron Spider?
The one you get in Civil War.
Okay, yeah. I think that one's okay.
It's okay, and I thought it was okay, like cooler in the movie, but seeing it next to the original design or even the White Spider one, I'm like, I like the bigger eyes.
The others. I prefer
like
the bigger eyes.
I think it looks way cooler. But I actually really like the White Spider because they explained how they designed the suit, and I want to say it is the blue is for more flexibility, so it's parts that would require him to move more.
Yeah.
I forget what the red was for. The red had a purpose, and the white is for any point where there'd be high contact. So if you look, it's on his toes and his heel, it's on his knuckles, and it's on across his chest. So it's basically shock absorption. And that's like where... So
wow.
And so I think it's also on his forearm too. So it's any place where he would hit the ground or hit something harder, and it would like cause less damage. So like for me, I was like, well, if it's got like a lore reason, I'm going to use this one. So that's why I've been kind of like leaning more towards the White Spider suit because I also think it looks cool.
It does look cool. Yeah,
I do wish it was a darker red. That was my one thing. I do wish it was a slightly darker red.
Now, the Raimi suit is not in the game.
Yes.
What's your take on that? I was partly expecting it, but partly not. And I didn't.
I'm struggling to remember. Does it have yellow eyes?
No, that's in The Amazing Spider-Man.
That's right.
With Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. I don't even know if I can remember the Spider-Man suit from that movie. It has the fucking wrestling one though.
It does have. Yeah, I was surprised it had the wrestling one and not like the Raimi suit. Because the Raimi suit has like the gray web on it, right? I can see it in my head, but I don't know how to describe it.
It's been so long since I've seen it.
Because it's like a maroon.
Yeah, it's
with like gray and like dark navy blue.
Oops. Yeah, it's. Hang on, I'll find a not crumped up version of it. Yeah, it's like slightly different.
And I like that. I like that it's very similar to the original suit, but like Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire, they made it their own.
Okay, so that's kind of a comparison. So it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, and so would you say it's gray or more like the webbing?
Yeah, it's almost like more silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw some people were like pretty disappointed, but at the end of the day, we got so much.
We got Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah, we got Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Man 2099, all these Spider-Mans from like different media that they brought into it. At the end of the day, like it doesn't matter.
No, yeah, and like it's having another suit like that, like it's
just another original suit.
It's another original suit, yeah, and they already have like 4 versions of original suit in there, so like
there's already a shit ton, and like the suits I thought was like excited to see was the symbiote suit, the Raimi suit, and the original Iron Spider, because I thought the Iron Spider from the MCU would be in it, but the comics and like other animation, it's like a red and yellow.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, it'd be cool if those were in it, but I was not remotely disappointed when they.
I've heard rumors that the symbiote suit will be added, or like it's Venom or the symbiote or something is gonna play some role in maybe the upcoming DLC. I think is what I heard.
I don't.
Is it in the actual thing?
Towards the end, the very end, there's a hint at Venom. I'll just say that.
Okay, because I believe there are talks of, I forget, what were they have names. They don't have descriptions, but they have names. The DLC, I want to say,
because the first one was the heist, right?
The heist, yes.
Yeah.
And then they do have names announced. They've like announced, and one's like Silver Lining or something, which I assume has something to do with Silver Sable.
Okay, yeah, she could show up.
Well, doesn't she already show up? She's like,
she's in it a decent amount,
right? But not as like the Silver Sable. She's just like the government agent, not like the.
No, she's full on. Silver Sable,
that is full on her.
She's brought in.
Like halfway through, I met her.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Is that the Silver Sable?" And she's like, "Yep, that would be her."
Yeah.
I say now with the heist coming out, like that's all people are talking about. But I just want like a list. But like, yeah, it's schedule. It's probably gonna help me out. Here we go. But they have like names. At least if I booted the game, I could see what they were because they say them there.
But I believe I've seen the 3 pictures where like they have the name and then like under it is blurry.
Yeah, so
it's like 2 and 3.
It's The City That Never Sleeps. Oh, The City That Never Sleeps is the name of the thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah, the Turf Wars and Silver Lining are the next 2.
Okay.
Turf Wars is the next one. Silver Lining is the third one. I don't know what Turf Wars could possibly be.
Because I think the story has to do with like Black Cat getting into like some trouble with gangsters or like the mob or something like that.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I forget this one's called something, but it's her. Oh, the heist. This one is the heist. This is the heist, Turf Wars, and Silver Lining.
I'm excited to see if this could start like a Marvel Universe of gaming, which they talked about because this was so successful.
I would imagine. I know when Marvel came to Insomniac, they said you can pick any character you want, and they went right for Spider-Man. They're like, we'll do Spider-Man right away. And it would be nice to see other characters, because Spider-Man's already had like a couple of good games.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see like an Iron Man game not be a total piece of shit, or like a Thor game not be. I mean, I guess it's hard to say because I feel like if you did a Thor game, you'd just be making God of War again.
Yeah, I feel you need someone based in humanity in like the modern world. I think.
Yeah. Because I know like there's an older Iron Man game that's very much like it's almost like a jet simulator. You just fly around a lot because like that's what he kind of does. So it's kind of hard. And he's like it was like him in like Iraq or something, because like where else are you gonna just fire missiles off? Yeah, without like causing mass damage. So
like a Doctor Strange game would be a lot of fun, but I think that's too out there right now. I think we need to follow up with another like based, whether it's New York or somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good point. They probably should
normalcy. I think.
I think that similar to how they did it with the movies is slowly bring in the weird.
Yeah,
like acknowledge it exists, but let's take our time getting there. But yeah, I don't know who else who would be a good next step for them. The Punisher?
Punisher, Cap?
That would be interesting, because then you could set it a little bit earlier even. But like, how do you do an open... I guess you just wouldn't do an open world Captain America game.
Yeah, that...
Because
Cap's not that type of vigilante.
He's
like,
not.
Someone calls him for help, he shows up.
Right.
But he's not like beating up muggers with his shield and full uniform.
Yeah, so it would be kind of... And he doesn't have the mobility that Spider-Man does, which makes him fun for an open world game. Like, I don't know if I'd want to play as someone...
So I guess that's not a good example.
So I don't know. But maybe they just don't go open world a second time. Maybe that's exclusively a Spider-Man thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because you need a character with a big enough fan base like... Vision will not be getting a video game. No,
that's true. No.
I'm trying to think of other... Because they're probably going to take a character who's established in the MCU.
Definitely. Because the MCU is like the Marvel canon now. I mean, even this game opens like a movie. Has the Marvel logo with the comic pages flowing through.
I mean, so many eyes are on the MCU. I would be surprised if they took someone who wasn't already established.
Yeah, they have to do something like that, because I don't know who else they would. But then again, no one gave a shit about Iron Man. And then they just made an Iron Man movie, and he became like he's now a staple.
True. I mean, I did. You probably did too.
Yeah, but like
the outside of like the fandom of superheroes.
Yeah, no one knew who
people
he was.
Were like, oh, who's that? Iron Man? Oh yeah, that sounds a little familiar, but they weren't.
Is it the song? Like, so yeah, people didn't really know what he was. So like, you could try. I mean, it'd be hard. You'd be hard pressed to find a character that I didn't at least know the name of. If you're like, oh, we're going to do a game on this, I'd be like, okay, I know that character. But, like, most people might not know.
I think it'd be cool to see a Fantastic Four game.
That would be interesting.
4 characters at your disposal, flying around as Human Torch.
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic, pretty mobile, just, like, stretching out. He can, like, travel pretty quickly.
Yeah, honestly, it would be nice to see them in a good form of media.
Yeah.
Because they've been getting quite the shit out of
Don't get me started on, what was it, 2015, that movie?
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, the fucking director doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's so mad about that. I never saw it because I was like, it doesn't really look that good. Like,
never see it.
Yeah. Like at that point, I was already like gung ho fucking MCU. Like, why would I watch this thing? Like, it has no bearing on the greater story. Like, it's probably just and in my head, I'm thinking it's probably gonna fail anyway. because like it's not if it hasn't have that
Yeah.
tie to the MCU and like whatever.
I mean, that's why my friend Paul isn't going to see Venom. He's like, why
Oh, right.
Sony starting another Marvel universe? It's like, come on.
Right.
I mean, I wish they had everyone back just to compile everything.
Yeah, I would be really glad. I mean, how are they doing with the Fox thing? Is that going to be
I think it's official in January,
okay?
but like their Fox is still making movies because what if something goes wrong and it doesn't go through? They can't just
right,
stop.
right,
That's
yeah.
why Gambit is still in the works and other stuff is still in the works.
Okay.
Because they can't assume, oh, Marvel's taking us over and then we're done. Like
Right.
they need to go business as usual until then.
Until that happens. So that's a good idea. And then ultimately, you can always just refabricate it. That might explain why Gambit's kind of like, it feels like it's not happening, but everyone's like, we swear it's happening.
Yeah.
So that might be why. It's like they're just kind of doing everything they can possibly do besides like maybe actually the final like steps in case that does happen. They can, we'll bring it in the MCU. It won't like be like a weird like, let's go reshoot so we can bring it in the MCU. They might be able to just, or maybe they're doing like making contingency plans like, all right, we'll make this movie. I don't know, because that movie is kind of like, it should have been out already, right? I feel like it was out so long ago.
I mean, when they took that picture at Comic-Con with the Fantastic Four, with the X-Men actors, and I think Channing Tatum was in that picture.
Was he?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he's been attached as Gambit for a long time now.
I know he likes Gambit.
Yeah.
He's wanted to do Gambit.
I
for
like
a long
Gambit
time.
too. I think
do
Gambit's a
too.
really cool character.
That would be a good character because he's in New Orleans. That'd be a cool place to
that
set
would
him.
be cool. Yeah.
Too. That'd be a cool
the
character
whole
for a game.
the whole X-Men world. Yeah, I'm trying to. Because you need a character with legs and like a great world around him. Like Spider-Man is like Batman with his villains are his catalog of villains is incredible.
Yeah, it's super good.
And Spider-Man's world is never boring.
Never, no. And like it can't. The nice thing about, especially in a game setting, is like to move around is fun.
Yeah.
So from putting the disc in to hitting play until you turn it off, you're having fun regardless. There's no moment of like, boy, I really wish I was just there. Like I haven't even used the fast travel system except for the one time they made you to teach you about it. Like I haven't even thought about using it because it's just not. I'm just
I agree. It's fun.
It's fun to.
So I guess
around.
you would need a flying character then.
Yeah. See, I don't know if flying would be as fun as like the mild. Like it's definitely not as hard as the original Spider-Man 2 game for like traversal, but like to have that as an additional setting of like you're not just hitting forward. You're hitting like R2 and letting go, and then hitting X to do the zipline thing, and then the pulling yourself forward. Like you're hitting like at least 3 buttons at a time to make yourself go faster and move faster. And like the nice thing about not having the reason moon swinging is boring and actual like what do they call this, anchor swinging is more fun is because you actually have to be. It's environmental. It's situational based on where you are. Like
when you go out to the water, like you lose it and you fall in.
Yeah. Or like I hate if I have to go through Central Park, I'm like, fuck me. Let's figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
Because it's way harder.
Yep.
So it's kind of more fun that way because you're constantly thinking like, all right, or like you're swinging through Midtown, you might not be thinking about it because every building's so high, but as soon as you leave Midtown, you end up in fucking Hell's Kitchen. You're like, all right, hang on, I can't just keep holding R2. I gotta I'm gonna just hit this building. If I want to keep moving at my speed I'm moving at, I have to be able to like fly through. Like one thing I was finding is like if you let go and fall, and let yourself just plummet straight down, Spider-Man will start to change his body. I don't know if he's like widening out to like hit the ground or something, but as soon as his arms start going out, if you hit R2 again, you just rocket through. Like he'll just go, like you just build up that full momentum, and like that you couldn't do in a flying thing. Because like you would just be hitting forward unless there's some kind of like.
I'm trying to think of a character like that now because
I think Gambit in New Orleans would be cool because New Orleans isn't super high, but he doesn't need that.
He can with his staff he kind of like pole vaults.
Yeah, and then just
pretty quickly around
normal parkour and stuff.
Yeah,
so that might be
that is really cool. Yeah,
kind of like an Assassin's Creed, but not move like absolute dog shit. Yeah. So like if you kind of like made it a little bit like clean, like smoother like that, I think he'd be a good person, especially in that weird environment of like New Orleans.
Yeah,
because like New York, we're all pretty familiar with. We all kind of know it, but that would be a cool place to just set something.
Yeah, I worry about like the villains in a Gambit game though.
Yeah, I don't know if he has. Does he have anyone specifically to him?
Like there's this in X-Men the animated series, he goes back to New Orleans because this ancient like spirit. There's the two like tribes, so to speak. There's the thieves, and then there's the whatever. Gambit's and the thieves, and they have to basically offer up an offering. I forget, but it's like a tithe. It's like this golden thing, and however many years they keep doing it.
Okay.
And so Gambit has to go back because like it's been like 10 years or 20 years or whatever. And like she was kind of villainous, but I can't think of another big character in Gambit's world that is like that.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know what you do. But like I wouldn't assume you would have opened with Kingpin in this one and kind of work your way backwards.
I thought that was cool.
I think it's definitely a cool idea.
Because what Kingpin said is true. He keeps the order.
Right, yeah.
When he's gone, everyone's trying to get what he had.
But I think that's kind of cool. I mean, it's a cool way to do that. Because I would have thought, if you told me, hey, it's a Spider-Man game, I would have thought, all right, then either Venom or the Kingpin are the last boss. Mm-hmm. Without having known anything. And to start that way and kind of go backwards is cool and shows that Insomniac can kind of go, they understand how to go in a different, they don't have to go the way you assume. So it's possible that we could see a little bit more with in a Gambit setting or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, it'd be interesting. Because every once in a while when you do a game with like where you have the option of multiple characters, like if you did an X-Men game, it would be difficult because like who do you add? Because like, you don't want to waste a lot of resources adding like 15 people to play as.
Then that may be a problem with Fantastic Four to have like a advanced move set for all of them.
Right, exactly.
I get that. And
then also if you do something like that, like percentage of people playing the Thing is probably way lower than someone playing the Human Torch.
Yeah.
So like, all right, you're gonna want to make the Human Torch really cool, but then like Mr. Fantastic has way more interesting options.
Yes.
But who's gonna play Mr. Fantastic? Stuff like that. So you kind of get like, who do you do? And if you do like an X-Men game, it's like, all right, you're gonna get Storm, Cyclops, and Wolverine. But if you don't include other people like fucking like Kitty Pryde, people are like, fuck you, I want to play her. She's my favorite. And it's like, all right, well, we gotta include the people.
X-Men like Iceman.
Yeah, Iceman.
Rogue.
Too, yeah. Right.
Nightcrawler. I mean, there's way too many characters.
Yeah, so that would be a tough one. That's why I think you'd have to pick, like, we're doing a Wolverine game, we're doing a Storm game.
But I do still want Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, where that is a shit ton of characters.
That would be cool.
The first one is incredible. Second one's okay, but that first one, man, I still can't believe they didn't come out with a third one, because I think the second one still did well sales-wise.
I never played the second one.
It's they start out in Civil War.
Oh, okay.
And it ends with you fighting, like, Nick Fury's been infected by, like, nanites, and you fight evil Nick Fury, I think, at the end. But, yeah, the first one was just...
I learned so much about the Marvel Universe in those games, in that first game.
Yeah, with Doctor Doom getting Odin's powers.
Yeah.
And you fight him.
It was so cool.
It was...
What a cool game.
I think Christmas Day, I was, like, finally beating it. But, I don't know who I was playing as, maybe Spider-Man or whoever, Iron Man, but I was like flying around because I was on such low health, because he turns the Fantastic Four evil, and you fight them and him at the end. And so I was just flying around, getting a little health, beating him up, and I was just doing that for like so long, finally beat him, and like no cheat codes or anything. I was like, oh, thank God. But yeah, it was such a great game.
It was so fun. And like, Mike and I would just, every time we boot it up, we would just unlock every character and be like, all right, who can we play? Like, who do we want to play as? Like, what kind of weird combo do we want to do? And like, then it would bonus you.
Yes.
Pick, like, you do like, what are these 4 random ones? Like, oh, you get
and
this
they have a name.
They have a name, yeah. It's like, oh, this is really cool.
And
like,
it's so expansive. You go to hell with like Mephisto. And you go to Asgard.
You go to Atlantis.
Yeah. There was so much in that game, and it didn't feel like as we were talking about with the characters' movesets, it didn't feel like less than.
No, yeah.
It felt like you could do a lot with each character.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, yeah, everyone felt unique. It wasn't like I'm playing fucking, I'm playing Moon Knight, and it's just like a Black Panther clone.
Yeah, it's not like Captain Falcon and Ganondorf in Melee when they're like the exact same.
Yeah.
It's not like that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. Everyone felt very unique. The only thing I didn't like as much was like the Hulk was exclusive like the Xbox.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the Hulk is not in the PlayStation 2 version of it.
Huh.
Because that's the version I had, and we would unlock every character. The Hulk's not available.
Yeah, we unlocked every character too.
Yeah, the Hulk's not. I think it was like the Thing was your option or something. I mean, the Thing was in everyone. Oh, they had like an equivalent or something. It was weird. It was a weird. Some of them were slightly weird. I think Moon Knight was exclusive to PlayStation. Who the fuck cared about Moon Knight in fucking 2004?
I liked Moon Knight a lot.
I like Moon Knight now, and I learned about Moon Knight from that game, but I had no idea who he was.
Because did you ever play HeroClix?
Yes.
Yeah, we had a lot of HeroClix, and we had a Moon Knight one, but I also learned about him from the game, and like I think I saw him in like one of my dad's comics too.
He's a really cool character.
He is.
He would be a good one because he's basically Batman.
I mean,
but also a werewolf, maybe.
There's like the Egyptian vibe. I'm still like confused about who he is fully.
He's never had like a consistent canon. I guess people just keep like, from what I understand, is Marvel kind of just hands him out to people like every once in a while. It's like, just fucking do something with him, make him something. And he's never had that Spider-Man moment where like Spider-Man was kind of CT hero until Todd McFarlane took him over, and then that's what made Todd McFarlane leave to go to Image. Because he's like, fuck you, I should be getting all this money for him basically revitalizing Spider-Man. Like, why the fuck am I getting shafted here? Being told to not work on this character I basically reinvented.
He invented Venom.
It's true.
Yep.
Yeah, like, and, he did him turning Spider-Man more Spider than man, far more fascinating to me. Like, him being, like, the weird poses and the cool, like, and all that stuff, the spaghetti web, like, all that shit's awesome. But, like, once he took off, Marvel started handing Spider-Man out to other writers. He's like, fuck you, I'm the one who made this. So I'm going to go make our own thing. But I think they're looking to have that with Moon Knight, because every once in a while I'll hear, like, oh, this guy's working on Moon Knight. And it's like, we're going to try to do this thing. We're going to make him an Egyptian thing. We're going to make him a werewolf. We're going to, like, they're trying to find, like, that canon with him. I remember I read one where he was basically just Batman. He had a bunch of, like, fancy, jets and shit, and hid them in parts of the city and flew away. It was, like, weird. Like, he's never had, like, that. Like a consistent, it doesn't seem like he's a consistent canon because no one really knows what he's supposed to be.
I think of him as like a Batman type character with like just an arsenal of weapons like around him.
Yeah,
like you don't know what he's packing like in that cape.
Yeah, he's a cool design. He looks so cool. Like what a fucking dope design. But yeah, he does have like I was reading something. He like got brought up in like a background mention. I'm like interesting that you bring. I mean, was it one of the movies? Someone mentioned something about being in Egypt or something like that. And I was like, why would you bring him up? He's a weird choice.
But also with that game, your actions had consequences. Do you remember at the end? There's like little cutscenes. Well, not cutscenes. There's like there's a drawing of like the result.
Oh yeah.
Like you didn't save Lalandra, so this happened, and they had a picture of the result. You did this to this person, so this happened.
Yeah,
I found that so cool.
That is super cool. Not a lot of games do that. It's great. I guess it's hard to do, but like it's really fucking cool when it pulls it off.
Yeah,
like having your actions mean something is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And like especially in a superhero game, I think that's important.
Oh yeah,
because like I very much every time I play any superhero thing, I'm always like, trying to be the superhero. Mm-hmm. If someone goes help, I'm immediately stopping what I'm doing and going taking care of that. Yeah. Which is the one thing I actually don't like about this one is the crimes there's a limited number of them. They don't just keep happening.
Yeah, there's kidnapping, there's robbery, there's drug deal, there's runaway car, there's is that it?
That might be it. And then but once you do them once, they don't pop back up. Unless it happens later on, because I've cleared them.
They do pop back up.
Okay, because there was like the 5 thug crimes and the 5 demon crimes, and I cleared those 2 out, and they haven't like shown up again. So I'm not like swinging around and like a car chase is happening and I go take care of that or whatever. And I kind of wish that it's like the Spider-Man 2, which is really my only real connection to any other Spider-Man game. They would have like a random mugging, like a guy would just steal a woman's purse and you'd have to chase him down, take the purse back and give it back to her, like small stuff like that. Very small crimes that don't matter, but Spider-Man was cleaning them up.
No, there's still a bunch of small crimes like that. Yeah, that pop up.
Because that's my favorite thing about a superhero game is you have to save everyone.
Yeah, like one time I didn't catch the car, like because you can stop the car with your web, or sometimes you have to catch it, and it's harder to catch.
So
you have
much
to
harder
hit square
to catch it.
a lot.
Yeah.
And one time I dropped it, I was like, "Fuck, I need another car chase," and it took a while, but it finally happened again.
Okay.
But it wasn't the catching option.
Yeah.
So it took a while until like it was the catching version, and I did. But yeah, it's fun how stuff like that also has a variety of how he stops certain things.
Yeah, it's not always the same. It's not just the same canned animation over and over again. He'll do a weird thing here and there.
Like the special attacks, like always different.
Always different. It's always and like just like actually having to be able to like hit him like interacting with the environment around him and stuff, where he'll like you can like bounce off a wall and do an attack, or hit someone into the wall and then web them to it or something like that. Like it's cool. It's like it really makes you feel like Spider-Man, and like actually like having to think like Spider-Man would and stuff. It's very relaxing too.
It's relaxing. It's emotional at points. It's kind of every emotion in the book.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like it feels so good. It feels so good. I've been playing it on what was the hardest difficulty. I guess there's one harder now.
Yeah, there's like ultimate now or whatever.
Yeah, I'm on spectacular right now, and like I've only died a few times while you're trying to get used to the controls, but like I do like the higher risk of like someone like one of the big guys is gonna come swinging and they'll hit twice. They'll hit the one time, then come in again before you can react, and they'll just break you. They'll break you in half.
You're like nearly dying after like 2 hits from them.
You're ruined. So like having to like really like manage your resources and figure out where you're standing. Is there something nearby you can throw at them? Like that's something cool too. The interaction with like pulling up a manhole cover or like throw a garbage can.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like how many different things you can pick up. There's just a limitless amount, like car doors.
Yeah. But like, and also a nice thing too was I didn't even realize you could do it from midair until I was doing one of those Harvey challenges, or Harry challenges, not Harvey. And like I had to do the I'd pick up those barrels out of the water, and I was like, how the fuck do I get those? Those are so far away. And then I learned like, oh, you can do more with this, and like I thought those were so cool. Some of them were hard because I didn't even understand how to do them yet. But then eventually being able to like pull it together, like, oh, this has this application. You can do this with this thing, and it's fucking cool.
Swing kicks. You hold square, you uppercut them, but if you keep holding square, you do a swing kick, so you never hit the ground, and like no one can touch you.
Yeah, it's super cool, and you can like do a swing kick out of just like jumping and stuff like that. You can just like do them and stuff. It's fucking really cool. I don't know. The only one thing I do wish they would add is when you knock them off a building, he would web them to the other building.
Oh, to like save them?
Because like, why am I letting this guy plummet to his death?
They die.
Yeah, like they're super dead.
There's some like mini challenges where
you have to knock people off.
Knock 5 or 10 people off the building.
I was like, why am I being rewarded for murder?
Murder 5 to 10 people off the building.
I don't know what I want to word it. Yeah, because like sometimes I have knocked someone off, and then like they will like web to the side of the building because they're close to the edge. Yeah. But like, if you knock them into the street, they're gone. They're just super fucking. We're fucking 15 stories up. You're just gonna drop to your death. Because there's a Batman game back for like PS2, Xbox, and if you knock someone off an edge, it would start a cutscene, like an animation where he would jump off, grapple them, and pull them back up and save them. Because Batman doesn't kill people.
Batman doesn't kill people. Yeah.
So like, if you happen to get in that situation, it would save the person for you. But I kind of wish this game did that too.
See, there's an opposite feeling towards the rockets. Have you had people like shoot rockets at you yet?
Yeah.
Well, there's like a power-up where you can catch it with your web and throw it back at them, but it doesn't explode.
Oh, right. He puts it out.
Yeah, and it just like hits them. But I was like, oh, I kind of wish it, but do I really though? Like, it just, you throw it back and it blows up and they blow up.
Yeah, because there's been sometimes too where I have dodged bullets and watched their friend get shot up and then still fight me. I'm like, oh, all right. Like,
oh my god, I love the instant knockout when you dodge a bullet
and you can go right up to them. Yeah, that looks so cool.
Great feeling.
The whole combat system, when done without getting hit and you're doing everything that you're allowed, you look fucking so cool. You are just flying everywhere and just doing like fucking really cool like knockouts and stuff. It's so fucking cool looking. I love it. I really do love the double KO thing.
Oh yeah,
like that's so awesome. Just like going to one person to one person, and if you have like, I ran out of 3 bars, so I can just jump around and, like clear a whole room of people real quick. It's so fun, and like doing some of the stealth stuff too, pretty fun. Like
the sneaking up behind them and like perching them up, sort of like in the Arkham games.
Yeah. It's actually pretty cool. It's like really well done, and like having like just shooting the web off in like an area, and they're like, "What's that?" And you can like and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It's like very fun, actually. I like it a lot. And like actually being like landing in a spot and then trying to figure out like who has a gun, who's the most threat right now, and who can I take out before we even get to this fight started and stuff. I always think that's really fun. Like that's just cool.
Now, are you at the challenges yet?
No, I know the Taskmaster is in it, and I cannot believe that he's in another video game. That's awesome, but
he's I'll just say there's stealth challenges that I found. They're not hard to accomplish at all, but hard to get like full points, full tokens.
Okay.
So I don't know, like once you start doing them, if you get full tokens, but because I didn't actually max out everything. Some of my weapons aren't maxed out because I needed more challenge tokens.
Oh, interesting.
And I just didn't feel like, because I redid like there's sometimes where you have to get bombs throughout the city, so you weapon through the city. I improved my time, so I got max tokens when I redid it, but the stealth ones I wasn't even close to getting, like, so I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I unlocked the last suit, so it's like I can just finish this and be fine. I'm not gonna max out the weapons.
Because I had thought about it, like, and it's fun, it's nice too, like when I was getting comfortable with like the combat of the basic fist guards, I'm like, well, this game's actually not too difficult. Stealth's actually pretty easy, whatever, and then you get to the demon, you're like, oh, okay, this is the next step. Now it's a little bit harder. I see how they up the ante for this.
Yes, I just don't know what they want when it comes to the stealth.
Okay.
Because like one time I did like everything was a stealth move. The perching, the up behind them, literally everything. But I got like the lowest level.
Oh, weird.
Like I think it's 3, 2, 4, and 6 maybe, and I got 2 or whatever.
Oh, weird.
And so that was weird.
Yeah, I'm honestly want to push the story just to see him even in the game. Is he actually there? Or is it like a radio?
He shows up.
He shows up.
He shows up twice.
That's pretty cool. Because Taskmaster is weird, and I'm glad he's like actually. He was in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh yeah.
And like I was like, that's a weird
I
choice.
had the second one.
Yeah. Yep. The third one, he's in that one.
Okay.
And like
is that the one with Ultron?
No, that's the new one. It's Infinite. It's 4.
Okay.
Or it's technically 4, but there's rumors that a number 4 is coming out.
Okay.
Because Infinite did so poorly.
It looked a little weird animation.
It's super whack. Yeah, it's a little weird. And then Dragon Ball Fighters came out around the same time, and it's the same idea of like a team of fighters and it's tag fighting and stuff like that, and it moves really fast. So everyone's like, well, this game's better, so fuck that other one. So Marvel kind of died, and then Dragon Ball took that spot. So there's rumors there's like 4 coming out, which should generally be better. But that game is a nightmare to produce because 3 was super unbalanced, but because Marvel was involved, they're like, fuck that, you're not getting any of the rights to do any of the shit because we're taking full responsibility for everything. So Capcom's like, our hands are fucking tied. We can't change anything here. So the fact that Infinite even came out, I was kind of surprised because like some of the characters were horribly broken, and I was like, well, too bad. They're not letting us touch this game up. We can't fix it because like we kind of lost the rights, and like a lot of Marvel games disappeared from like digital services. Like the Deadpool game and stuff like that, they all disappeared for a period of time. Like maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, they all disappeared. They're all back now, but like it was because like the Disney Marvel transition was like kind of going into full swing, and Disney was like, we are taking everything away, and we'll make sure only good stuff like comes out, or like we know that it's coming out, we know like where it is and stuff like that. So they like removed a lot of stuff.
That reminds me of the Darth Maul game that got canceled.
Dude, that's
Lucasfilm
so sad.
Got bought.
Yeah. That game looked so.
From like what I saw, I was like, this could be a really good game.
Yeah. Was that the one where George Lucas walked in and found like a female Maul and was like, the one had like a toy, Darth Maul and a toy of the other one, and was like, they're friends, and they're like, but she's from like 1,000 years ago, and he's like, they're friends, and I'm like, what the? How do we appease this guy?
I don't think I saw. I just saw like Maul decapitating people. It's like, okay, this is a different type of Star Wars game. In a good way, though.
Yeah, 1313 sounded really cool.
What?
1313 was a Star Wars game they were going to do. Rumor was it was going to be about Boba Fett, but then people were saying it was going to take place on the 13th level of Coruscant, because Coruscant is like a platform city, and there's layers of it underneath. So like way down level 1313 is where this game was going to take place, and was potentially going to be a bounty hunter focused thing.
I mean, they did have a bounty hunter game. Yes,
but I think it was going to be an open world version of that. Because do you remember in that bounty hunter game, you could open your visor and see people's like what if they were wanted or not?
I think my dad played it more than I did.
Oh, okay. I think if you just hit, like,
I did play it a little bit, a decent amount.
You hit like a button, and like there's a couple parts where you were in Coruscant. The game was buggy, so I didn't finish.
I mean, this game's also what, like 16 years old at this point.
Oh, it's super old. Yeah, it's ancient.
Long time.
But there was a part where you could like walk into Coruscant and you could drop your visor and go into a first-person mode and look at people's faces, and it would tell you if they were wanted and what they were wanted for. I don't remember if you could do anything with that like feature, but it was cool. So if this 1313 game was going to be kind of what I imagined, it would basically just be an open-world city thing where you were a bounty hunter, and a side thing you could do was just turn on your visor and be like, that guy's a criminal, arrest him and make a small amount of money or something. Which would be kind of cool. But they also canned that with the Lucasfilm purchase. So sad news for everyone.
I mean, I'm just glad they're bringing Clone Wars back.
They are?
Yep, to get its final season. They had a little announced trailer around Comic-Con.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that didn't finish properly.
Yeah, they had they did like it's hard to describe the 6th season, where they had some episodes, but they didn't include them all.
Oh, weird.
And like some storylines weren't like finished. Because like I don't know if Darth Maul, he should be in the final season, because they last left him, Sidious was like destroying him.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch Clone Wars at all?
I've watched the beginning of it. I never finished it. It's like a lot.
Yeah. So Sidious shows up with Darth Maul and his brother Savage Opress. And Darth Maul's training Savage, but the rule of 2 with the Sith.
Right.
They throw down. The 2 of them were Sidious. Great fight, but Sidious kills Savage, and he last leaves Darth Maul just shooting him with lightning over and over again, saying he won't kill him, but he's not done with him. And like that, we did not see what happened next, because we see in Rebels, Maul obviously is still not serving Sidious. He's not next to the Emperor.
Right.
He's on his own
Yeah,
path.
and in Solo, he's just running a syndicate.
Yeah. So we don't know where they took him from there, and there's like some other stuff they didn't get into. But yeah, so it was like a shortened final season for Netflix.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know it didn't finish because everyone loves Clone Wars.
Yeah. I think that's like a universal thing, even if you didn't like the prequels. I mean, I did, but people like watching the prequels characters in Clone Wars.
Yeah, I think really the problem with the Clone Wars movies is a lot of people. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of flat, like fluff and fat that doesn't need to be there. Where it's like, I think the show is because there's still episodes of that show. Like one of the last episodes I ended up watching before I stopped just out of time was a Jar Jar Binks focus episode. I'm like, this is kind of a weird thing. And I'm like, I don't know why this exists. So I didn't like continue watching or whatever. But like, I know there's a list out there of like the order of which you're watching episodes and which ones you can skip. So I think if I ever go back, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just watch it in like the because some of the episodes are slightly out of order or something, or they take place before the movie of the Clone Wars animated movie is part of this timeline. Have you ever looked this up?
Oh,
it's on the Star Wars website. It used to be.
I've never seen like the movie came out in 2008, right? And then the show like debuted shortly after.
Let's see. Let's look at this.
I never saw the movie.
I never did either.
Because I started watching the show. I think we might have talked about this earlier. How when Anakin goes to this planet and it's like the living force, and Qui-Gon talks to him there, and it was a big deal because Liam Neeson was coming back to voice him. So I watched the show that night, and years later, when they were making Force Awakens, I was a freshman in college. I rewatched all the movies because I hadn't seen them in a long time. I started watching Clone Wars from that episode.
Oh, okay.
And I watched it till like the end.
Okay.
So I still haven't seen like the first couple seasons.
So this is on StarWars.com, and this is the order of which you're supposed to watch the episodes, starting with season 2, episode 16, and then there's another episode, then the movie, and then the season 3, episode 1.
Okay, so starting at 5, it goes in order from the looks of it.
No, because I think it starts breaking up down here somewhere too. Yeah, so it continues getting a little weird again.
You go to 203 to 217. What?
Yeah. This is the Star Wars official order of which you're supposed to watch these episodes.
Because it goes in order, and then all of a sudden you jump.
So
6.
I think it's like an arc. Like there's a several episode arc, and then it jumps.
The show is like a lot of like mini arcs, but
so I think that's why that's like that. But for some reason, this is how it's structured.
What?
And like I think there's a Reddit one that will even tell you which ones are like the Jar Jar ones, and like ones that don't actually move the story along. You can skip those as well.
Okay, so it looks like season 4 goes completely in order from the looks of it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very strange.
Okay, yeah. So it looks like earlier on there was a lot more of that.
Yeah.
By the looks of it, and by like season 4, it's all straightforward.
Yeah.
Which is what I would have seen since I think at the end of season 3 is like the Qui-Gon episode.
Yeah, because there's some weird stuff. In the beginning, it kind of gets a little weird. I just think it's very strange that there's like episode 16 of season 2, then episode 16 of season 1, then the movie, then go to season 3 episode 1, season 3 episode 3. Like it's super fucking weird.
Yeah, and then go back to season 1.
Then back to season 1.
That's really odd.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know why they did it that way, but that's like this. I don't even. And the weird thing is, too,
and you got that from like unofficial.
That is StarWars.com.
Oh wow.
That's StarWars.com. StarWars.com.
Yep, StarWars.com.
Like
wow.
that's the official order of those episodes.
Huh.
Yeah, it's really strange. And that's why I didn't really get into it yet. Because I was like, oh, I have to do it in those orders, and then I just forgot to like go and do that. But I've watched a few episodes of the first season, like obviously out of order, I guess. But it was it seems like a really cool idea, and I hear Rebels is really good.
I've saw a few episodes in the first season, and then after that, just YouTube clips. Like when Darth Maul would show up, I'd watch like his clips, and Darth Vader. In Ahsoka, I'd watch those clips, and but never like sitting down watching a full episode after like the first few in the first season.
Okay,
it's just it's on Disney XD and like Time.
That's a tough channel to watch sometimes.
Yeah,
like it was Gravity Falls ended up being on Disney XD, and it was like, oh, I always forget that it was there. I was like, good thing we're recording it, so I could find it, and like it was like a pain in the dick for all that for like because it's a weird channel. I don't know.
Yeah, that and like Toon Disney, because you'd get a commercial from them. Like, oh great, I'd love to watch that, but it's not like on 34 like Disney Channel. You have to go find it.
They'll find it, yeah. And like luckily now things are more like, oh, we'll just put it on streaming in some aspect or whatever. Not like, because sometimes it would just be like, oh, I want to watch this thing. I can't watch this thing because I missed it.
I always hate check your local listings. That's kind of out of nowhere transition, but it's like, oh, that looks really cool. Check your local listings. It's like, what the hell does that mean?
Right, yeah. How the fuck do I do that? This is 2018. I don't get a TV guides into my house anymore.
Are we? Have we come to fruition?
Would you like to?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Are you doing well?
I'm doing well. We probably should open with that, huh?
Well, I think we did, like, in the car.
Yeah, it's true.
But
Catch
yeah,
up.
I'm on my grind trying to get a job.
Yeah, all right. If you need anything, let me know. If you want to just make something off while you're unemployed.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely be down. It's just I am trying to leave as soon as possible, but I've been saying that for like months. So who knows? Hopefully, I'm not like Squidward at the Krusty Krab forever.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's all. I'll be here for probably eternity till I make something that makes me a lot of money, so I can get the fuck out. But if you need anything, let me know.
Will do.
All right. Thanks for stopping by. Any final things you would like to mention?
Follow me on Twitter at Jason R. Lang. Like 3 people check my Twitter. I'm pretty sure I just get pity likes, but I don't post for likes. I like post reacting stuff for like sporting events or whatever.
Right.
Like, if I like something, like the Spider-Man game, I tweeted about that.
I started quote tweeting things, and I just enjoy it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen this? This is a mild tangent. The voiceover Pete meme that has been happening lately.
Voiceover Pete. No.
He's a guy on Fiverr. You can pay him to do whatever you want. And so he does these like credit card scam like videos about like various characters, and he'll start with attention. Like one I watched was like, attention TF2 gamers, the heavy really needs your help. Send him your credit card information, the date and year on the 3-digit on the back to send him money and save him now. And
what?
now it's become like a joke where people keep paying him money to do like attention Fortnite gamers or attention 2Who gamers, and like it's so fucking they're so funny because it's just like it's this old white man saying nonsense that he has no idea about. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And it's just like. And it always leads to like, we need your credit card information. So it'll always be like what I forgot what the Toho one was like. Attention Toho gamers, whatever, what the Reimu or whatever needs. John Bowman's gonna hate me for this, but whatever her fucking name is, and like needs help against to make this shrine to fight off these evil spirits, and we need your credit card information. And it's like, oh, it's my favorite thing right now. But like retweeting that with like, oh man, we need to help her so bad, or guys, we need to help them out. Like, so we get your credit card information.
And it's not dubbing, like this guy's actually saying
I'll find one, yeah. They're really they're my favorite thing right now. How do you even search my Twitter? How do I do this? Twitter, help me here. It's probably one of my more recent likes, because every time I see them, I'm like, oh man, these are the best. I
saw you tweeting out the cat playing the piano, like the cartoon.
I love Bongo Cat. Yeah. He's my favorite. Yeah,
that was great.
He's so wonderful. Yeah, I would tweet him out as often as possible. He's slightly less so now. He's like dropped down. I
saw one with Toto. That was great.
Oh yes, yes, that one is so good. Oh god, Twitter has some good memes every once in a while. They touch me in places. Oh, here's the Toho one.
What the hell? And this guy has no idea what he's saying?
Absolutely no idea. I follow him on Twitter now, and he's just an old man who just does Fiverr voiceover stuff.
Wow, that is hilarious.
I love them, and there's tons of them. And my favorite thing is how he opens them up. Attention, like I love that. His stupid dry like thing. Attention, Fortnite gamers. I fucking love it. He's my favorite thing right now.
Wow.
I'm considering spending $5.
What would you have him shout out?
I don't even know. I'd have to come up with it somehow. But it has to be credit card fraud, of course, because that's the best part of it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so funny. He's my new favorite because Bongo Cat died. Mm-hmm. I miss Bongo Cat. Shout outs to Bongo Cat. Thanks for coming.
And this has been Your Brain on Tom.
Love and kisses.